Boy, ladies and gentlemen, you're wondering what's going on tonight. Earlier in the day, we had Aaron Blaze, the headline, Aaron Blaze, and he certainly had a lot to say when it came to the backyard and the underground wrestling circuit, and especially at the expense, maybe some would say, of the outsider, Jack Delta. But tonight, our guest, you might want to say, maybe is the ultimate outsider of them all, but truly, he's a higher power. Because if you've been following his career and his journey, boy, he has been that higher power that you've seen him with the who's who at different teams, most notably the Stompers, who are almost the premier tag team in the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. I'm sure he'll talk about that. He'll even talk about some different things we've seen him do that you might be very surprised about. Plus, he's going to give his thoughts on some different things, and he's going to talk about, I don't know, whatever else he wants. Maybe he'll give me some good thoughts about the Steelers coming up this year, because I'm excited about the Steelers. I tend to think that some people are not as excited about the Steelers. I'm not quite sure about that, but I know a lot of people are wondering, well, what are we doing here? I'm going to explain all of that shortly. Plus, since it's been a hot skip in a minute since our guest is here, I've actually got something for him. And no, I can assure you it's something he might be appreciative, and I'm sure that everybody else out here might get a kick out of. But, ladies and gentlemen, since after all, we are in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling matters. And our guest here has certainly played a vital role in that, and he's got a lot to say. And since it's been a while, I want to give him, though, that introduction. That it's obviously DVG might have given him those intros, but I think it's a little different when we're here, because obviously I think it just rings harder, it hits harder, and it just maybe goes up through those veins, almost like if he's at a Steelers game cheering on his Steelers. I'm not going to give him the "Here we go Steelers," but I'm going to give him definitely that introduction that everybody's been waiting for. He's been waiting for, and he's even got to put the glasses on for it, because this is big, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get right to it here in prime time, in the middle of the brightest lights, the biggest stage. You might want to say it's going to be an early 4th of July on Sportzwire. So let's get right to it. So we're done! Wait for it. Further ado here on the Sports Report. Number one. Sports Show. The higher power himself. His name is Mr. T3 Thomas My friend.
Thank you. I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you? How's the Sportswire radio world community? How are you guys?
Well, I think you might want to ask me that after off there, because my voice, I don't know if you've seen, but I've done like so many shows in the last like month and a half. I think it's literally, I'm on like 60 something straight days of doing a show on Sportswire. And I've done them 2 and 3 times in some cases. I was on the air earlier today with Aaron Blaze, another fellow Pennsylvanian, of course, the headline Aaron Blaze, and I've got you here. And, I think that's probably, I'm great, but my voice, well, we'll have to see certainly after the show. But Thomas Taft, it has been a hot skip in a minute since you have been here on Sportswire Radio. And, I guess I'm going to ask you kind of, and maybe to start the conversation off rather open-ended for those that are listening and watching here, what have you been up to since we last spoke many, many months ago?
Well, last time we spoke was November.
Right around the end of November, I want to say. Right about end of November we spoke. Yep.
So, during the off season, I was reaching out to a lot of companies. They're hitting fireworks just like they was at Cravens. That's crazy. As soon as I start talking, boom.
Is there an irony there? Is somebody, I don't know, tempting with the water or the ground?
But December started, off season, I started instantly reaching out to different companies. just to try to either be ring crew, camera work, refereeing, stuff of that nature. And that's when I started actually having a lot of companies reach back. And I was just reaching out, off the whim, like, it's the winter time. Some companies are still running. Let me see if they need a referee or two. And my first opportunity came from DOW in December.
Okay.
I was referee there. And that was the first time I refereed in maybe, I said, like 5 years.
Wow.
But my true passion when I first got into wrestling, remember we talked, I said the wrestling thing was just something from playing football, then you transition.
Yep, we spoke about that. Yep, absolutely.
Referees was what always drew me, because I'm like, all right, you have a face in the heel, but that referee is like the puppet master. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
You still got to go in and make sure that you control the match. You still got to make sure that these wrestlers are on cue. They know how much time they got. Okay, did you make the right call on this 1, 2, 3? Did you make sure?
I was just speaking with one yesterday, a friend of mine in the UK who I interviewed a couple of years ago, a few different times, Scott Bell, and I think it's one of the toughest jobs in not just wrestling but all of sports, being a referee, my friend.
Yeah, it to me, it's. Let me say it this way: I'm a chameleon. You put me in any environment, I will adapt. If that makes sense. Like even now. I'm doing commentary now, and I'm doing editing now for the company that I started back with my homies in North Carolina, all the way back in the off season. Our first show was in May, Apex Championship Wrestling. I just got all the footage, and I've been editing for the past like 4 or 5 days.
I'll put that link up in a little while as well.
This is new to me as far as chopping and editing and putting my voice over something that's almost 2 to 3 hours long. Versus something small when I was in school, and it's like a 2 little minute project, PowerPoint, stuff like that. So now I'm putting myself in a different avenue where, okay, now I'm talking to different people, sound tech guys, audio guys, people that do graphics and design. So now that's putting me in a whole different aspect, not just being a wrestler anymore. You see what I'm saying? Taking this aspect to where, okay, I was a wrestler, but what else can I get out of this? Because at the end of the day,
I think it's important because
if I don't get a contract anywhere or get signed anywhere, I still have a resume where I can go.
And I think also your wrestling time is only half of what your career might be.
I'm 33 now. I already tell myself 33 now. I'm no more than 40 if I don't get a contract, or if I'm established somewhere working behind the scenes with a company. At least I have a resume that shows, okay, this man has wrestling experience. Okay, this man has referee experience. Okay, this man can work with audio, video, cameras. You see what I'm saying? That's what I'm looking at it from. Because
that's what a lot of guys do. I do a lot of, not as much as I used to, because obviously I do a lot in the backyard and the underground, but I've interviewed a lot of college basketball players and coaches, and that's what they all do to get themselves scouted or recruited. They put together what's called mixtapes.
Yep.
So they're able to, it helps them get out there, and, if they're going to continue to try whatever they're doing, that's their footage, and that helps get the word out there. So you have to have a resume for sure.
I'd say since about March, my resume has changed a lot now in my perception of going towards other companies, or even just reaching out or just speaking to them. I don't care if it's just a hi, how you doing? My name is this. I might not even go to them and say, hey, my name is Thomas Taft. I'm a wrestler. I might come to them and tell them, hey, my name is Travis. I would like to be a referee. So now you're getting the whole wrestling shit is gone. You feel me? Like now I'm going to other people, other things. It's not just Thomas Taft anymore. Like now I'm actually saying that it's not just about being in the ring, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, you're obviously looking to expand your repertoire.
Yeah, expand everything.
You're obviously looking to do things that
you have to think of yourself as a business. Yourself, you are a business. When you go out there and put on that name, that music, that outfit, you have to sell that shit. I'm sorry to say it like this. You have to sell it. Like if you come to me and I have a bucket car, but I'm dressed and I can sell the hell out of this car, you might buy it. But if I'm dressed like a bum and I'm not talking to you right, and I can't hold a conversation, and it's a Mercedes right here, and you got the money.
Well, I think this was the conversation that we had with Aaron Blaze earlier today, where what sometimes happens on this platform is that we get people that come on and they expect basically the same treatment as somebody that would have a Mercedes or look like they may have a Mercedes, but unfortunately they talk, in his words, very mid. And there is certainly that perception out there, but you don't have those problems. You're obviously doing different things. I have some footage of you actually doing some refereeing, but you've obviously then expanded your arsenal since we last spoke all those months
And
ago.
I'm still wrestling behind the scenes. Like, even though, okay, my first in-ring this year was actually in DC at the 420 festival in my hometown. So I was able to do something first time in the ring in my hometown in front of 10,000 plus people. Everybody from all over the United States comes to this place just for marijuana. I mean, okay, it doesn't matter if it's marijuana, but still, you got performances, concerts, you got vendors, you got wrestling, and these people are walking past from 9 o'clock in the morning all the way till 9 o'clock at night. It's 12 hours of me, the Stompers, DVG.
I did see that on Facebook. I think I did.
Yeah, like we were there with Rick Titus all day. You see what I'm saying? Talking to him, not just standing next to him or like, hey, that's real. Talking to this man. Like,
I would think with 10,000 people, you're gonna just be standing around, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the stuff that I'm doing now because I decided to say, okay, let me not be stagnant. And that's not to say anything about nobody else, but I have to keep moving. I've always been that way. I've never been the person that stays in one position longer than 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, we spoke about this. You had a background as a football player. We talked about your football career. We talked about the adjustment of wrestling that you made. You talked about, obviously, your own life situations months ago. And, I think that's a natural progression. I think that obviously, look, you were in a situation months ago, and I'm sure we'll get into it, but the facts are is that, you needed to obviously go out and do something that, would spur that creativity, but also, expand your career in the wrestling world. And I think, you talked about, an interesting thing. You're 33, which again, I'm the same age as you. And, obviously you're still a relatively young man, but in terms of wrestling life and what you've put yourself through, whether it's, anywhere you've wrestled, realistically, at 43, you're not going to feel the same as 33. So you're obviously thinking about where you could be long term.
I'm already thinking by 40, hypothetically, that's 7 years from now, right?
Okay.
Even you, Tom, 7 years from now, how you're doing your podcast in your lives right now, right? How we sit here and we watch these drinking champs and the barber shops and all of that.
Funny you said that. It's what's the show that Noriega does? It's mixed drinks.
Yeah.
That was one of the I've been doing this 5.5 years. You see it, it's all glossy now, but that was always one of the ideas that I thought that I could do a podcast because I thought that the way they would mix it up. And I had a friend of mine that was a college basketball player. He kind of had the concept, and that's kind of how we're here right now.
I'm telling you now, I believe it because I already felt it when me and you talked in November. When we talked the first time, I said, okay, Tom is doing this now, and it's catchy, and it's a wave. I said, by the time next year comes, it's going to be snowball effect. And it is. Like, honestly,
you said that. It's funny because last night I'm on my way home to one of my streams, and I run into somebody in my neighborhood who I've known for like 20 years or so. And he goes, I used to watch you, and I remember listening to you when you were on SoundCloud, and I think that you've made it. And I'm like, really? You think so? And he's like, no, I remember. I listened to those shows, and I watch you, and like I can't believe it. So I'm starting to hear the footsteps. I hear it. You're not wrong.
Always manifested. Remember what was the key thing? Elevation. It's never changed.
Higher power. Yep.
Come on now. Doesn't matter if I'm at a company, not at a company, it's still the same slogan, it's still the same power, still the same everything. Me and my bro still walk around and put the 3 up every day. It doesn't matter where we're at.
I know. I see what the stoppers
are. Like,
absolutely.
It's just the lifestyle. You see what I'm saying? And
so what did you get though out of that 10,000 people? It doesn't matter what it is. What was that experience like?
The best experience is knowing that we actually had that energy to make people stop what they were doing and really just like, okay, they're walking this way and just stop. Oh my gosh, it's wrestling. Take their phones out, record for a second, even if it was just 30 seconds, even if it was just 10 seconds. It was times where people were walking with their food and eating their food and just would stop eating their hot dog or a pretzel or something and just be like, oh my gosh, you got suplex. Yeah, get them. Like,
did they have any brownies filled with anything? I don't
Definitely did.
smoke, so I just thought it would be funny to ask you. Actually.
Definitely did. Definitely
Okay.
did. A
Okay. Fair
little
enough.
like infused drinks and stuff.
Okay.
Juices and stuff. Yeah.
Believe it or not, I actually have never drank one zip of alcohol in my life, and I've never even smoked a cigarette or anything else. So that's why I was kind of curious because I was like, do they do those things at these kind of things? I was just actually wondering.
Yeah. Like if it's the festival and you're there at the festival, of
Hmm.
course, like if you're a talent or a worker or something like that, DC is legal. So
Okay.
then it's like the sponsorship and all of that stuff comes with it. But
Hmm.
being respectful, you're not just gonna sit there and just, oh, I got off the ring, let me go smoke. You see what I'm saying? Or I'm about to go.
Hmm.
Majority of people had their time slots. It was like 4 time slots from like 12 in the afternoon to almost 8 o'clock.
Wow.
So it was like, hey, once you're done, okay, you can leave or just enjoy the festival or whatever the case may be.
That's pretty cool.
And it's kind of weird because the summer bash thing is kind of
Yes.
like the same thing that they're kind of about to do.
So what do you
Because
think about Summer Bash then? Obviously it's the whole thing that, in a lot of ways,
you,
I think there's people out there that have obviously had opinions. And, I think it's something that I've obviously played a little bit of a role in, really,
I
where the credit goes to some of the guys in the IMF and DKW. But what is your impressions on that from afar?
I do like the aspect of bringing other companies together. That's the one thing that I'm going to say I like out of the whole idea. Period.
Hmm.
Not the whole BS behind it. If this person wanted to work there, this person didn't, or these people wanted to come here for this show or not. I don't care about that. What I like the fact is you have 6 companies coming together. I think it's
It's
like
more.
6.
It's actually more than that. It's actually more than a dozen. Believe it or not, there's like from what again I don't know like all the exact details, but from what I know at least from promoting it, there's like about a dozen companies at a minimum
That's
that are going to be doing it.
crazy. It's
It's really
crazy.
like it's something that I think it's got
I just
almost
know
everybody.
having that much wrestling in one area.
3
Me
days, and
personally,
it's 3 days, and it's got companies from almost everywhere from the South, the North, the Midwest, the Mid-Atlantic. It's just, a really cool thing.
having a 3-day event with all of that wrestling there, period. Not to
Yeah.
say it's a bad thing, but it brings more good. That's just all I'm looking at it from.
Yeah, I think it's
Just
about
like how you got
creativity. I think it's the true form of open collaboration. I think it's
what's
also
the
spurred things outside of Summer Bash.
what's the
There's
thing they
things.
got in South Carolina? Oh, Bike Week. You
Yep.
got people that go to Bike Week every year in Myrtle
And
Beach.
Sturgis is in Dakota. They have the rallies there in
Yep.
August. They do that as well.
These people only come there for one thing. So if Summer Bash is something where it's like 12 different companies and they are telling you that it's a 3-day event, this is like a Woodstock type situation. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it's kind of, and guys are getting there tomorrow even. It's really for some guys, they're going to be there for 5 days, and it's like putting people together that, would have never met. They only see each other here, and they're now actually getting a chance to collaborate. They're getting a chance to build friendships, and I think that's what really is so cool about Summer Bash is that you're putting all these companies together: IMF, DKW, WC, ROEW, OMW, CBW is even a part of it. You got
Yeah.
companies from all over the place that ALW, and you got so many companies. Resurrection Wrestling. You got through proxy AWL, TBW, NEW. It's just a long list of great companies that XCW that they're all going out there. You have guys out there that are just also even independent wrestlers. They're going out there and they're doing it to really just build something for the community. And I
It's a
think that's to me
rebuttal.
what I honestly wish they would do it more in the indies. And I know that there was a thing in Chicago a couple of years ago that they had that kind of did some of that. But I just think to me, it doesn't matter whether it's Summer Bash or not. I just think it should be everywhere should have something like this. I think
Like a
the
summer
Forbidden Door is
palooza.
always talked about, but I think it should just be everywhere, really. Even WWE is kind of here in the footsteps because they have the whole thing with Impact Wrestling. So to me, I
Hmm.
think Summer Bash is really like changing the game.
I just was telling my friend that I see them making some type of like big pay-per-view, maybe at the end of the year or maybe at the beginning of 2025, where WWE and NXT and TNA
Yep.
will all have their own like super show. if that makes sense. They already run 2-day events sometimes, as far as like the WrestleMania thing.
Yep.
And when they go overseas, that SmackDown is usually on that Friday, wherever they are. So it's kind of still like a 2-day event, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that there's opportunities, and especially
There's a lot
now.
of opportunities with it.
Yeah, and I think that in a lot of ways, what you're doing is about that collaboration. It's funny that you talk about these things, and if you want to follow Mr. T3 Thomas, and plus I have something for you in a little while. I want people to follow you on Instagram. We have some other links here. I'll put them up and also show you out there refereeing in a little while as well. But it's funny that it sounds to me like you've done so much more than what I remember you in that company with 3 initials. It sounds to me like you've done so much that it almost you're just getting started. I mean, I knew you really from that company with 3 initials, but it's rather fascinating that you're doing all these different things. And, some people may only be hearing about this the first time, my friend.
It's not really this. Okay, I'm gonna say this. There is no shade towards DBW. Okay. I said the 3 initials.
That's why some people are probably waiting for it.
This is the part. Now, this is the part that the real people need to listen to. Okay. Listen with ears. This is the part where T3 starts talking. It's not Thomas Taft. Because I do have split personalities.
I'm aware of it.
And this is who's talking now, not me. So when I left DBW, okay, I left DBW as the wrestler in person, okay? My bonds and relationships with certain people in that locker room did not leave though, okay? So my friends that are my friends, they know who they are. The ones that know I still support them, know I support them. And that's not in talking about the stompers or just the prodigies, okay? I'm going to put that out there now because the people that have a problem with me, okay, as a grown man, the people that have the problem with me were usually the ones that were always messaging me, or were usually the ones that were always at the shows in my face. We're usually the ones when we step out back want to come and talk to me or ask me how their match was and stuff like that. I'm just being honest. Okay.
No, you can say whatever you want here. You know that.
To put that out there, the ones that still have messaged me since I've left the company, I appreciate that. To the ones that still have liked posting comments or even pictures, I appreciate that. To the ones that still reached out inbox wise and said, happy birthday to me, I appreciate that. Because those people are the ones that I respected when I was in that locker room. They gave me the same energy. Okay? So the ones that did me wrong or feel like they were intimidated by me or they wanted me to be a yes man in this situation, those are the ones that have a problem with me. And that's it, that's all. Point blank. So that the elephant is no longer an elephant and it is now a mouse. You see what I'm saying? It's addressed. It's out there now. It's over with. They've moved on and I've moved on. It's been 4 months now.
Yeah, I want to say.
And in those 4 months of me leaving the company, yes, I keep tabs on the people that I associate with. Yes, I know what's going on behind the scenes with the people that I still care about and that still wrestle and put on bangers at their company. But do I go to YouTube and watch their shows? Nope. Not getting a view from me. Do I go give you a like? No, I'm not going to do it.
It would be hard for you, right? Because after you left the company.
Not even hard. Not even hard. It was easy for me to do that. And the reason why it's easy for me to do it is because I'm used to change. I move like the water does. The water is going to move wherever it wants to go. You can't block the water. You can't stop it.
Oh, really? You never thought you were going to be there for years anyway. You didn't expect to be there.
When I got to DBW, my mind state was no more than 2 years. Why is that? Because before then, I was already trying to find just the place so I can get that ring time in and that rust off so I can figure out if I wanted to do the wrestling thing or did I want to continue to be a referee, backstage audio person, tech man. You get what I'm saying?
You
Because at
wanted
the
to
end of
have
the day,
different hats to wear.
when I met Richie and Rob, I was just turning 30, 31. So you got to take 2 years away to now. You get what I'm saying? At 30 years old, I'm like, all right, I'm 30. Do I want to continue to try to wrestle, or do I want to do something else with wrestling? That's where they put me at. So when I got the DBW, it was okay. I came into your company. I see what it is for the first time. Boom. I'm going to come back for my second show.
Well, what do you think, not to put you in a position, but what do you think about some things that have gone on here? We've had this thing with Summer Bash, we talked about, and, there was some things back and forth, the DBW guys and the IMF boys, and, Chris Craven was here. There was a situation with, somebody we mutually know, and Chase Wakefield, Anthony Steele, and, your name was, I know it's like kind of weird, and like, what did you think of all that? Like from afar, because I was obviously like, your name was brought up even.
I do know the show that Craven came to. Me, Azrael, and Richie was talking to him on the side of the building for about a good 10, 15 minutes. And to rebuttal that and to confirm that, when he said I was walking around talking to people at the show and I was chit-chatting here and there, yes, he did come in and talk to damn near everybody. He was the only one in the building with a cowboy hat on. So it's not like you could not know that it wasn't him, okay?
Sounds like him.
And then I know the OGs as well from like the Baywa and the WCF and I know those people. So I heard and know of Craven. You see what I'm saying? So when the conversation was already brought up, when he was talking about it, it was, hey, I'm thinking about seeing if some of you guys would like to come out here. I'm going to talk to Judgment. And Azrael was like, if anything, in this quote unquote, Azrael said, if anything, maybe me and Taft will come up there. Maybe me and Thomas can come up there. And he said that to Craven. Only reason being, Azrael knows Craven and Azrael knows me. So
I knew that Azrael knows Craven. Yes, so I have known that.
By Azrael knowing who I am, and not to put it out there, I've been underneath Azrael's learning tree as long as I've been associated or even part of WCF. He's always
he's been around a while. Yes,
he has always been like my big brother, period. I've wrestled him the most in WCF. I've been in the ring with him the most in WCF. Like even in DBW, like we had our one little spurt, our one little moment with each other, but that's the person that really like made me get that fear factor off. Like, okay, if I'm in the ring with Azrael and he's big as crap, I don't care about none of you guys. You see what I'm saying? Like, and I guess that's also from playing football. Being a little guy playing football,
I know, we
getting tackled by guys that are huge as shit. You feel me? Like
it's a lot of heart. Yeah, we spoke about that.
You gotta have that. You gotta have that get up mentality. That get up mentality. Every time you get knocked down, get back up. Shake it off, get back up. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's another reason why it was easy for me to lead DBW too, because I knew that looking at it from what I started to where I was going and to where I didn't see myself being yet, if that makes sense.
Were you surprised though that certain people didn't reach out to you? Were you surprised at that? I mean, you talked about some guys have been friends with you. Were you surprised about that at all?
Let me be honest with you. No, because what do they owe me?
Nothing. They don't owe
you. Get what I'm saying?
No.
One, you don't owe me anything. Two, y'all been committed to this way longer than I have.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And when I first came to DBW, remember me and you talked, and I even said in my promos, it was a new era. It was a new era coming. You see what I'm saying? This was the breakout era. I was saying it the whole time. In promos, I was saying it all year. And I saw that it was transitioning, but it was like, turn the switch off. It was like, turn it up a little bit so we can get the heat, but we're going to turn it down and make it cold again. And I started seeing it from different angles. It wasn't just on my aspect. It was on other people's aspects and other things that was going on. You see what I'm saying? And this is not shots at anybody, but
you got to go with what's happy. You can't, if you don't feel like
my eyes looking in, just hear me out. Yes, I did hear what Judgment said when he was like, when Anthony Steele said, so it's been like 18 to 19 months and you're the world champion. You haven't found nobody to put the belt on yet. Okay. in my eyes, sitting back as a fan, also, because yes, I wrestle, but then when you drop the footage, I'm watching it, right? So as a fan, okay, it's been 18 months. You haven't found nobody to drop the belt to, but I know it's 3 people on that card or in that roster that should have already had that belt on them. If it's storyline wise, he says storyline. Okay, I understand that. But you have other stories that you started and then didn't give a crap about. I'm just keeping it real.
I think that that's what's listen. I mean, obviously, people are entitled to do what they want, but obviously, that was something that was brought up there. And he talked about the storyline. He's a big believer in the storyline, but there are people that feel what they feel about it. I mean, obviously, I'm not there. You wrestle, so I don't know enough about those details. Obviously, there are some people that feel like, look, you know, change and go into a different direction,
And it's
but
not, and like I said, it's not no shots or nothing, but it's not about just titles all the time. It's not about, oh, let me be a champion. Let me
that's
do
a
this, let me do
topic
that.
that comes
But
up here on this
but if
platform.
you as the owner, or if you as the booker, or if you whatever, if I'm the owner of a wrestling company, I say, hey Tom, I'm putting you in a 4-way #1 contender match. You win the shit, and you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and you never see your #1 contender title shot.
I'm gonna move on.
Thank you. So if that's an example that I'm just giving you, right? I don't care who you are. Now, this is what I wanted to bring to the table because we the football people, okay? I'm a backup quarterback. Our starting quarterback gets injured. We're 0-2. Starting quarterback's out. You don't know how long he's out. I come in while we're 0-2. I take over. I get us to the playoffs. We get a 12-5 record. We get to the wild card. I win. I get to the division round. I win. We get to the AFC Championship, and you say, Taft, sit down. We're starting. Huh? I just put up MVP stats and turned our whole season around. Got us
I
to the
gotta go with the
playoffs.
guy that got me there. Yeah. That would be
Okay.
like in football when famously, for those that don't remember, Drew Bledsoe gets injured early in the 2001 season. Some guy, Tom Brady, comes
Tom
in.
Brady.
And all of a sudden, if Bill Belichick decides, hey, I'm going to go back to Drew Bledsoe in the AFC Championship game, people would have been like, are you nuts? And that's
Come
kind of the
on
same
now.
thing you're telling us.
Come on now. That's just how I looked at it. I'm not about to be putting myself out there for this. Not to say I'm okay, just like they're doing, like you say, with the football aspect. Carson Wentz did it with Nick Foles.
Yep.
That whole Eagles ring situation. Nick
Mhm.
Foles won the Super Bowl MVP.
Yep.
Nick Foles only played how many
But it
games?
seems like you were made out to be somebody that you weren't. You're coming here, you're speaking, having an honest conversation, and people are
Because at the end
wondering
of the
like,
day, it's what's wanted. It's what's given. You want me to come on here and have that energy and be negative. When at the end of the day, there's nothing to be negative about. The negativity left me a long time ago. When I decided to pull my pants up and not continue to get screwed. I'm just being honest.
but that happens all the time. I mean, listen, we have people come on here and they have philosophical differences, whether it's in the backyard or not, and people leave. But it was made out that you were this guy and feeding information, and it didn't really seem like that way at all. It seemed like that you were just some guy left the company, and was what it was. We were always friends still.
Only
You were
people
friends
I
with
have,
guys still in that company.
only people I talk to is the people that talk to me. So keep that in mind. You see what I'm saying? If nobody from DBW reaches out to me or tells
And
me
you didn't
anything
owe DBW anything. You were no original to DBW.
at all. So at the end of the day, yes, it's a void. Yes, I have friends that still reach out to me because when I was part of DBW, they subscribed to DBW and they started watching it. Okay.
Right.
And I've had friends message me, where are you at, bro? You not part of DBW no more? I've had people go to the live chats and actually tell me that they've typed in the live chat, where's Mr. T3? And nobody will say anything or reply. It's like they'll see it in the chat and they'll just go up to the, you see what I'm saying?
Were you promised anything? And there's somebody here that talks about a pay in the situation. You know anything about this? That there was pay for some talent? You're booked in. You know anything about this? Somebody puts up a comment here, and I'm going to pull it up before we go to the very beginning. Ask him about where the pay is for some talent he booked in North Carolina. You know anything about this, or is this somebody, do you know anything about this?
That's somebody that's trying to troll from the Apex stuff, but the
Mm-hmm.
Apex stuff is already taken care of. So unless you want to get booked, you feel me? That's how I look at it.
So you have no regrets then about anything. You're happy with everything, and you left DBW.
Solid.
You've been going there for 4 months, and you're
Like 10
that's it.
toes. Like the day I left, I'm still 10 toes. I'm not changing my perspective. I'm not changing how I feel about it or anything. But like I said, the ones that are still my friends and my associates, and I would even shout some of them out. Like number 1, Casey James, Sammy Nothing. Those are like top 2 people. Why is that? Because my son that has autism loves those guys. I don't know what they did at whatever show my son came to, but they had a match. And my son literally was like, came home, we watched it on TV. He was like, I like him. I was like, you do?
But a lot of where this all started was with Summer Bash, where Omen and Soldier had felt that it was perceived that Judgment and maybe him really at the top and a few others didn't really want to go and work with them. And Judgment came on here, and I don't know I'm not obviously in the middle of this, but I think there was a conversation made about that. And I think that Omen and Soldier and the DKW guys who were running Summer Bash felt that what was said here, nothing really changed. I think there's obviously
anything reached
perception.
Out.
Yeah,
if Craven left me, Azrael, and Richie, and then he went to Judgment and had their conversation, that's on them. But what he did state to me, Azrael, and Richie outside on the side of the building, because we were the guys that he was talking about. Oh yeah, I was talking to a couple guys outside where they were smoking, taking a break. We were those guys. Okay, I'm just letting it be known. Like I will put that out there.
No. I was just curious, and obviously you were there. You were in the company at that time, and there's obviously like, I think that there are people that are obviously running Summer Bash that feel what they feel about certain people in DBW, and DBW people came here, and they flooded the chat.
I can say this: did Judgment come to the locker room and say anything about it? Like when the show was over, while we were breaking down the ring and stuff like that. Sometimes we have little chit chats and little meetings.
Mm-hmm.
We have one of those at the end of every show, pretty much.
Okay.
From October to November, there was no talk about IMF.
Okay.
And I know that for sure. Because I'm one of the people, whenever they have the meetings, it's always either Aaron Jones yelling, hey, everybody get quiet. And then we're all shut the fuck up or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Pardon my French. But, or it might be Castelli, he might yell or say something. You feel me? And everybody get quiet. And then we'll have our little speech, whatever. You feel me? But no, I do not recall hearing Judgment ever say anything about it to the locker room or even asking or saying that no or yes or none of that. Only thing that I can say and vouch for is Craven did come to me, Richie, and Ezra outside, and we had like a 10 to 15 minute conversation about it. And then we all separated and walked off. And I do believe he said that he was going to talk to Brian about it. And that's the last I heard about it.
I mean, obviously, I'm not there. You were in that locker room. I think obviously there's people that, would have a curiosity on that because obviously it's Judgment's company. And I think, again, understandably so, not to put the talent in an uncomfortable position, but the talent.
He did say on the Still Live, though, he said that if any of his members on the roster wanted to go, that they can go. And then I think was it Omen or was it Soldier? One of them extended the invite. And was like,
yeah, I think so. And that's no question. That's obviously it's up to them and those individuals. I wouldn't. Again, I'm not an orchestrator in terms of I'm not like behind the show. I'm not even there. I mean, obviously the platform, we support it and such, but that would be between the companies and like I'm not involved in like.
I'm just saying it's not a total shutdown. I'm just saying it's not a total shutdown because
I don't think it is either. I'm just curious though because I think that obviously again you'd have to ask Omen and Soldier this question. You'd have to ask the DBW locker room for that question. But I think that obviously, sure, the invite was there, but I don't know how. I think what's going on. I don't really know how many people are going to look at it and go, yeah, I'm going to go there, or if people are going there and they're looking to, go and then they're looking to return and send information back. I don't know enough of it. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that I don't think we'll really see much of that this year. Maybe next year, again, it's a different day. It's a new ball game, but I tend to think that it's up to those companies to find out. And would you want to say something toward that? Or is there anything,
My hand was raised, Tom. I just want to say one thing because
say anything you want?
because what you said just like triggered something. Okay,
Yeah,
now this is not about any company. This is about wrestling. All wrestling matters, right? So I have
correct.
this question to ask:
Ask me anything you
Do
want.
you feel like companies don't want to work with other companies because if they do, they might get exposed?
I think it depends on the companies, and I think it depends on the type of product that you run. Because I do think, truth be told, as somebody that watches a lot of backyard and underground wrestling, there's no denying the fact that I probably watch a significant amount of backyard and underground wrestling companies. There are different companies out there that put different types of products out there. So that would be
Right.
a question you'd have to ask each individual companies. But there are companies that run a different product versus other companies, and they might want to consider what's in their best interest. So in some cases, it would depend on what the company has and how they feel that it would be presented. Like if, one company runs a different product in terms of the type of wrestling, the type of talent, they might want to consider that. But certainly, individual companies can certainly have, opinions on how they might want to be perceived. Because again, it's an open-ended event, and there are companies that might feel that, I work with only certain territories. I only work with certain people. I'm interested in that because that helps my guys. I can make sure that I'm protecting the best. It's kind of like
Mhm.
I worked in the world of politics. I've served in very high capacity levels. And one of the things
Right.
that used to come out, there's a term called horse trading. What that means
Yeah.
is that basically if I have something, I'll give something back to the other person because basically I know that I'll get something in return that's in the best interest
Hmm.
for me, and the other person gets the same thing. So, and again, it's not an uncommon thing. It happens a lot in independent wrestling, other places, and it could possibly be that those companies might say, well, you know what, I'm willing to collaborate, but I'm willing to collaborate within the means of people that I know that I can protect my guys and make sure that my spot's protected. And conversely, those people may feel the same way. Whereas if they go into something like this at Summer Bash, they may feel that that might not be because they might be concerned about, how their guys are portrayed, how they look in the event. They might be concerned about just how they would go back to their own following, what they get out of it. So there's a lot of that maneuvering, and I'm sure that that could be looked upon with that.
I didn't think about that part. Now that's
Well,
the part.
that's why you have to look at it
And
from those things, and you
and I'm
people
glad you
might.
said it that way because in my eyes, looking at it, it's more so if somebody gives me the opportunity to do something that I have not been doing before I really say no, and I think this is just me because this is how I am in life. Because I'm an Aries, so that's just in my trait. I'm not just going to say no. I'm probably going to do my own investigations first in my own, let me learn, let me see, let me go check them out first on my own. And that's just with me. Even with like when I left DBW, I didn't leave DBW and try to look for, not to say it like that, but another underground or backyard company. I left
So
DBW
obviously,
with
I
the
want to
intent of
address the
doing,
elephant in the room because obviously there's somebody in here, again, which, again, the person doesn't have a real name. So I'm going to say to the person, if you'd like to have a real name, you're more than welcome to put something out here. But, you may say that DBW is mentioned and
wait,
DBW not
wait,
coming to Summer Bash, but DBW is not at Summer Bash. I mean, do you have anything? And I'm curious for the individual, since obviously I'll play
I
along for
don't
a second.
even know who
Is
this
there,
person
I
is.
got this. Is there anything that shows in the promotion? I'd be curious for those that might actually be involved in Summer Bash. I'd actually be curious if the promoters are out there with it. Is there anything that tells me that DBW is at Summer Bash? Now, again, I'm actually going to be, curious on that. And, I do a lot of shows, and I probably do more shows than probably anybody puts on in a given year. And, I don't really think that DBW gets mentioned as much as that, but obviously it seems to me that there is somebody here that's tuned in because they might be affiliated with DBW. Because I see a bunch of different things that this individual says, talking about you and different things. And I'm not going to repeat on the air because I think those things are obviously something that, if the individual would be more than happy to put their name out there, I'd be more than very happy to read off some of those things. But it's clearly, I see that somebody likes to say something without really, telling us who they are, because I would love to know, because I see a lot of people here in the chat, and they come on here
I am
each and every time.
shocked.
I got this. They come on here each and every time, and they put their name out there. They're more than happy to put their name out here. They tell us who they are, where they're affiliated. So, it's, and again, though, but I'll say this much. You're absolutely right, though. DBW doesn't have to be involved in it. Nobody has to be involved in it, but it seemed to me like that there was a conversation. The reason that DBW, so I'm going to answer this for you. There's a reason that DBW comes up in this is because I think that there was an overture to reach out to DBW to be a part of it. But I think that DBW, namely the man that runs the company, he didn't really want the event to be a part of it. And that, again, that's his right. He's entitled to do whatever he wants. From my vantage point, anybody can do whatever they want. You have a right as an American citizen. You don't want to wrestle somewhere. You don't want to be a part of something. No problem. But I think the reason that this comes up is that the owner did not want to come and be a part of it. And if the owner who runs the company, he's obviously going to influence his locker room, if some would say that. And I think that that's where this comes up all the time. And I think that obviously the guys that have been running Summer Bash, they're here every time. They're on this platform. So that might be for the individual, since obviously I'm going to play along. You might want to ask the individuals who are running Summer Bash, and you might want to tell us who you are, because obviously I don't see anybody with a Lulu link. That was a poor Metallica record. But, obviously I would just be curious on those things as to hear why and when. But I think I see here pretty much that everybody that's here in this chat has a name of some sort, and they're regular people. So obviously this also individual seems like they have an issue with you, because that's what it seems like, that they're here and they're, obviously like to say something. Because obviously there are people in the DBW locker room that obviously probably, weren't happy with you and such. Would you like to, say anything on that? I mean, I don't want to spend all day on it.
Me personally, if y'all have any problems,
Well, I think obviously the individual can
it's
say
not blocked or anything. And me personally, whoever this person is, they must be a troll. I don't know. I have nothing.
Yeah, no, listen, I got this though. So obviously, look, I don't think that DBWC, you really want to talk about bashing though. That would be more like when we've talked about other things. I think that this continues to come up, and that DBW gets bashed. I don't think DBW's product gets bashed here every time, but I do think that if you obviously have no affiliation to DBW, you might want to ask the guys in DBW, and then you might want to ask the guys in Summer Bash, because I think there's a couple of them here. Actually, as a matter of fact, I think I actually have the guy that actually is involved in Summer Bash, and his name is Soldier GP. Now, Soldier GP is the IMF champion, and he's really the guy that created Summer Bash. That's the guy here, and he's going to be a huge part of the show. So I think, again, no shade here, and
but I said that at the beginning though. Like, my thing is, if JB Lulu has been here watching the whole 47 minutes, I literally said that I'm not throwing no shade. I've been giving.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's throwing shade.
I didn't say anything wrong about DBW. I didn't say anything about judgment. I didn't say anything about crap. You feel me? Like, I just.
But obviously, they knew a lot about you, though. See, it's interesting because we had this come up with Chris Craven, and there was obviously somebody that obviously had feeded information to an individual who came on here that we know, Chase Wakefield, great guy. No issue with him, and he had said some different things here. It was a number of things about Chris Craven. It seems like, again, if this individual doesn't work in DBW, he's not a wrestler. God bless him. And I appreciate him tuning in. Thank you very much for that. But he seems to have known a lot of information about you. That's all. I'm not going to spend any more time on it.
If they know more information about me than what I know, then let me.
Obviously the race card comes up. You had said things about different people with, gender and sexual orientation. And, obviously that information, most people, if they were the fans, wouldn't know that information.
What's crazy? What's crazy? Yeah. Even if I did say any of those things, so be it.
I wouldn't know it. I don't know.
This is my thing. When I say so big, this is why I'm saying so big. Mm-hmm. No one's going to check me or anything, because half of these people that are doing anything in wrestling are literally backyard or underground, and that's no disrespect to nobody. That's just a circle of people that have an issue with me. Okay, I'm now out here going around different states down there every month, traveling. Me and my circle of compadres are not just doing it for the money, but
Okay.
we are getting paid for our services, if that's what you want to call it. I don't care if it's me being a referee for one match. I'm still
No, I
getting it.
got that.
You get what I'm
I
saying?
think, listen, I mean,
And
I don't know enough about the situation. I
I'm
want to put
putting
it
it
out
out.
there.
I'm putting it out
Yeah,
there so that people
I
can
do want to put
understand.
it out there that,
I didn't stop wrestling and just sit in the house and just
I
fingers all day.
right,
You
I
get what I'm
got
saying?
that. I want to just come back to this one more thing. I want to get to a lot of comments, but I think I've said, listen, I've had DBW guys come on here on Sportswire since this thing is going on. I have no issues with the product of DBW, and I have no issues with anybody if they don't want to be a part of Summer Bash. But those are questions you would have to ask the people in DBW and IMF. Now, Soldier's here, and there are other people who are a part of Summer Bash or from the outside have been following it, and they would obviously tell you. But obviously, it seems like to hear it's a little bit of interesting parts of information here because the person here says that they're a fan, but they know all this information. They seem to know you. So, obviously, people are welcome to say what they like, but it obviously seems to me that, you know, people are going to say what they want. Let me get to some comments here. Let me go to Hillbilly.
The best haters are fans. I'm just going.
Well, you know what? I mean, they say it's always good to have them. I agree that IMF, since I've known them, have always been open to working with anyone, no matter the circumstance. And I think that's why also on this platform, this comes up because a lot of people feel like that companies like IMF have reached out to a lot of companies and, it's what it is. And he says he's from Apex, North Carolina. That's fine. I mean, look, I have no issue with anybody. Like I said, the DBW guys, I enjoy them.
He said he's from Apex, North
This is
Carolina.
from Apex in North Carolina about your company, not about DBW. But then he also said that every time this comes up about DBW being bashed with Summer Bash, and I think Omen and Soldier basically said, like, look, it's what it is. The issue's done with. Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out, like, what are you getting from coming up here talking about my other company that literally just started and had its first show? Everything went good. And like I said, everybody knows the problem about what happened. Show went great. Every match, great. No botches. Look, no botches. No injuries. No
and
nothing.
I think that's what people obviously
guardrails, ring pads, locker room, food, ticket sales. I'm just saying. So if you're talking about how did people not get paid until maybe a week or two after, but some people still got paid at the show, cool. Talk that shit to the people that get $10 dues and have to drive and get hotels and get food for themselves every freaking month that aren't getting nothing. Not a thank you.
All right, so you know what we're gonna do? So you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna move on because I got a lot. I got a lot.
Like a backyard fan that's thinking that somebody now is going a different route. No, guess what? There's different things to do inside besides just sitting around all day and not really doing something with.
All right, so I got that. I think I'm gonna move on because I want to get to a few things with you. I think I got the point. I think obviously, look, people are gonna have what they like to say, and I think Summer Bash, whatever happens, God bless everybody, and I hope for the best. I wish DBW well. I wish the Summer Bash guys, and I wish everybody else here. Let me move on. Hello to Hillbilly Tilly. We got hello here. Hello,
D'Angelo
the Flame, the man who's going to be everywhere. He got an Impact Wrestling tryout.
Been watching my boy for a couple months now. I'm a huge fan. Yes, sir. Keep doing what you're doing, the Flame, for real.
He's a good man. He's definitely.
I'm not just saying that because I'm on here and you're saying, welcome. None of that. No, like I actually, I watch people. I come up here and watch Tom shows all the time. I might not be in the chat.
You told me actually. It's funny you said that because Aaron Blaze, the guy who was here today, was talking about when he was coming on to basically promote himself, was like, I watch Sportswire religiously, and I think about people who come on here, and I think about the different things, and he obviously kind of had his opinion shaped in how he wanted to present today's show, and you kind of have the same thing. Want to say hello to Coach Chris Craven? Yep.
Craven. Every day that you drop one, I guarantee you go through your notifications. It says that I liked it.
No, you've always liked it in the past.
Come
Yes,
on
you've
now,
always
I make sure.
you
So if I
comment.
like
You
it, I
have
watch it.
actually. I mean, at
I
this
don't just
point, there's
like
a
it. I
lot of
like it and then I watch it. I will take my
no, no,
two
no, no. I
hours
got to
out
be
of my
honest. There's
time.
a lot of people that tell me that they watch these shows, and I appreciate everybody. Even if you disagreed with something, I have no problem with that. That's the beauty of obviously this, and everybody's got opinions, and I think that's kind of where it's at. It's definitely isn't easy being a ref. A lot of weight on your shoulders. It's very hard to find a skilled referee in this market. For
Nah,
sure.
for
I listen.
real.
I knew guys that played college basketball that tried to make the transition of refereeing. They couldn't make it.
I'm gonna tell you the one thing that helped me with it, because kids and sports and stuff like that kind of helps it. And
Sure.
then like I'm a little guy, so it's always easy for me to just get thrown in the ring with, not to say it like that, it's two big guys majority of the time. I don't care if you're the same height as me, you're probably way more than me. So I'm gonna go in there, I'm gonna sell just as much as you're supposed to sell. I'm gonna go in there and you hit a big suplex or something, I might fall. You see what I'm saying? I might disengage with you while you're choking the person out and count all the way to 4. Hey, you was about to get disqualified. You feel me? Like I'm one of them type people. I'm not just a regular referee, just
Okay.
1, 2, 3. You get what I'm saying? Like you do got some people that are old school, but I know it's still a job and it still can be a funny job, comedial type job. You can still be a comedian behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying? You still got to give the crowd energy. If the hill decides that they want to distract you, you got to be able to sell the distraction. You get what I'm saying? You
Mhm.
got to,
Totally.
like you said,
Totally.
yes, it's skill, and a lot of people don't have the skill. But when you put yourself, like I said earlier, I'm a chameleon. You put yourself in different. I do music. I've been in drama club. I've done skits and plays and stuff like
I
that.
had my
Like,
guest on a couple days ago, Judas, who had a background in theater
mhm.
and the arts, and that's what it goes to. I got a lot of comments. Let me run to people. Hello to the Prodigies. Obviously, the Prodigies
Yo,
are everywhere. Pro Wrestling Venom, they're everywhere. And
what's up, my bros?
love those guys, and they're a huge part of things also in DBW. Nothing wrong with having
Yes,
multiple
sir.
skills on
Facts.
your resume. And Hillbilly Tilly also won our Sportswire Radio Hall of Fame. He is our first general manager to be inducted. And one of the other men behind Summer Bash who will be here coming up this Thursday is the guys from DKW. That's Mr. Darkron himself. He says, hello, gentlemen. And
Hello.
yes, I have never done either. So, obviously, I don't think I'll live to 95 doing this as many times as I have, but I do appreciate that. Want to say hello to one of my guys, Jake Dvorak, who's taking the Bulls by the horns and has got an All Wrestling Matters hardcore tournament up next month for our friends over at NEW in beautiful Worcester, Massachusetts. Want to say
Okay.
hello to Mr. James Marshall, of course, of WCE, says hello. And
How you
also,
doing? How you
yep,
doing?
evening, and there's James Marshall again. And yep, Tua replaced Jalen Hurts to win a national championship for Alabama. Good one. He's an Alabama guy. He knows. Uh,
That's a good one. That's a good one.
want to say hello to Aaron Blaze, the headline who was here
What's up,
earlier
Aaron?
today.
How
Thank you,
you?
and wearing his shirt, by the way. And Coach Chris Craven, I think we kind of addressed the Summer Bass situation a while ago, and that's kind of what it is. Want to say hello to Big Tex. Big Tex, of course, of Chaos
What's
Conspiracy.
up?
How
How
you
you doing,
doing,
my
Big Tex?
boy?
Big Tex, another guy's come a long way in DBW.
I
Definitely.
see. I see he woofing his beard out more now too. I noticed that he got, last time he was on, he had the
He
grizzly.
I remember when I first spoke to him, and look at where he is now. And
Man,
and Corey Graves is made a whole lot of waves also recently. Wins the #1 contendership and is the global champion. Stir the spot, lick the spoon. Haven't heard that one in a while. Yeah, let me get to some more comments I didn't get to. For me, I really don't give a damn if DBW wants to work with us or not. IMF, keep on doing IMF. Exactly. But Tom, you knew from the beginning my goal was always to bring companies. And I think that's kind of why this all stems from that, because really it all stems to that we really wanted to work with everybody. But again, it's what it is. But I think there's a lot of other companies that seem to want to be a part of Summer Bash. And I think that that's what we'll focus on going forward. And I think that there's about 15 or so companies in some form that they're going to be a part of it. And I think that that's kind of where we're going to be. It's not so much bashing. It's more so if people question their ideals. Same with other places, how they want to outcast themselves, but collide with certain people in their cliques. And it's weird. And I think that that's kind of, what we're talking about. Because, we just put Summer Bash, real quick. You have IMF, ROEW, OMW, You have XCW, you have DKW, WC through proxies, AWL, Resurrection Wrestling is playing a big part, TBW through proxy. You have NEW through proxy. You have all these companies, ALW, CBW through proxy, all these great companies that they're a
See,
part of this, and other wrestlers who are their own. I think that's why, and this was
see,
talked about in Aaron Blaze's show.
that's why, going back to what Aaron Blaze said right there, that's why I kind of said, do you think that it might be a situation where not like a DBW thing in general, but just companies in general? Like,
Well, that's a part of it.
if
I
you
do
take
think that in wrestling that there
if
is
you
or in
take a
anything in life.
prime example, if you take a like the kids got what? It's like AAA, double A, then like the B team or something like that for football or something like that.
Yep.
Are you going to take a B team starting quarterback and put him out there with the AAAs right now? No, you're not. And that's
Right.
kind of how I feel when I say it's not the exposed thing, but it's like, okay, if you take me, Thomas Taft, right now and say, Thomas Taft, go out there with TJ Perkins. That's an opportunity. I don't give a damn if I'm about to lose. I don't give a damn if I'm about to get my ass whooped. I'm going to take the opportunity because guess what? It's me being somebody that's getting the opportunity, not knowing where it's going to take me. That's all I look at it from. It's not about if DBW wants to work with you or not. It's the principle of if it was an opportunity, that's the only thing I would have cared about. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And we want people to check you out on YouTube as well. And D'Angelo the Flame is very happy about some of the
things.
Also, let me come back to some more comments. Nobody's really shitting on people, but it's just interesting how there's alienation, but certain people claim the door is open, except when they act like others don't exist. And I think that Aaron Blaze is going through this firsthand. Listen, Aaron Blaze he's been in 19 companies. This young man is 19 years old, has been in 19 companies. He knows better than anybody. He's the definition of open collaboration. He's the definition of all wrestling matters. He's wrestled in 19 and has his own company, which has almost 1,300 subscribers on YouTube. That's an amazing accomplishment. This young man.
You're not the forbidden door, my friend. You just are the door itself.
He literally is a special young man. Want to say hello to some of my friends, also a part of the movement here in the PWF Mid-South, and I own a portion of that. And that's Dimitri Green. He says, hey, what do you say? Want to say hello to the good guy, CJ Black, the 7-star superstar, rated twice 7 stars of ROEW. I feel like I missed the good stuff. No, I think we're still got a lot to talk about. We're going to move on to some of the things I want to show you in a good light from. And Aaron Blaze and CJ Black work together. Want to say hello to Mr. Jackson Snow. Jackson, how you doing? And 19 almost got, I think he'll be a 20. I'm sure he'll be a 20, 21, 22, 23.
Yeah.
We'll see that. I wanted to show something for the audience that you actually did recently. And I thought it would be interesting to get your perspective. You talked a lot about refereeing, and I actually had some footage of something you did recently. And I was curious a little bit about this experience. And, you talked a lot about refereeing earlier. And for those that are listening and watching, I have this up on the screen, thanks to the magic of technology. And I want to thank everybody here for tuning in. We're about to be live also on the Pride Wrestling Federation YouTube page and the Promo Wrestling Federation YouTube page. But before I do that, I want to get to this. And I want to put this up, and I'm about to see something here with you coming up on the screen, and you do other things other than just wrestling, as you alluded to, and tell me what we're about to see here in good old Mr. DVG.
So, this right here is a company in Ohio. They're called Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots, and they're pretty much just starting. But starting out is always a good thing. You see what I'm saying? You could either come there with the good energy, good vibes, and they going to eat it off the plate, or they going to be like, we don't like this. You see what I'm saying? And let's just say this. Everything there was great vibes. Loved it, enjoyed it. You see what I'm saying? The energy there, the crowd, the atmosphere. As you can see, DVG was the announcer for the Street Stompers. They came out, you feel me?
Was that weird refereeing a match of a group that you've obviously been such a part of? What was that
I'm
like?
gonna be honest. It was like I said, the whole character thing. Soon as they said, "Hey, you're refereeing," I'm like, "Okay, which match?" They're like, "Stompers." I'm like, "Hey, bros, guess what? I gotta be your ref, so I gotta not be your friend for like 10, 15 minutes." You see what I'm saying? Like, It was the best part about it is this was our first time being at this company, so for them to even allow me to referee and then referee my compadres and also have DVG come out. You know, it was like
Was
all
that
of us
weird?
are
Was it
culminating.
weird? Was it weird seeing all these guys like, hey, and now you see them and you're in a different capacity.
To a certain extent, yes, but I feel like I already saw this manifesting in different ways. Not to say it would have been me, Richie and Rob, or me, Richie, Rob, and Chad, or whoever. Like, I already saw the vision prior, if that makes sense. Like, if it wasn't, and this is being honest, okay? Backtrack to DBW a little bit.
Okay.
If certain things didn't transpire with other people in DBW, Richie and Rob were not going to be the members of High Power.
Okay.
So just keep that in mind, okay? They were not, and I'm letting it be known, they were not my first choice to work with me as High Power, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But because of other situations, circumstances, and because of what transpired in the month span, what I saw them go through and what I saw them dealing with, and I saw that, I was like, I found my tag team. You see what I'm saying? Boom. And that's how we ended up talking more. And we already came to the shows together. We already was at the hotels and stuff
I
like
know
that.
you guys were in the vlogs together. They had the
it was like
vlog, and
we already were doing things, but it wasn't like we cemented that, okay, let's make it known. You see what I'm saying? But it was a Thunder Punch show that they fought WGO.
Yep.
Zach Depew and Jackson Snow.
Yep.
And
in the house. Yep.
either Rob's foot, I can't remember if it was Rob or Richie, but one of their foots was on the rope. And it was a 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
But they still gave the win to WGO. They had the little moment where they got
Jackson,
mad.
of course, is the world extreme champion as we speak right now. Yep.
Yeah. So shout out to my man Snow.
He has a good question, which I'm actually going to bring up. I'm actually going to bring that up in a minute. But go ahead, continue.
But that's basically what cemented it. Like when they had the little moment where they was like, so this is what you guys were doing. We just were your tag team champs. And I thought it was like, I knew it wasn't real, but I felt the real energy. So I was like, I found my tag team.
Well, that's the Angelo Flame, the real raw energy,
Right. And that's all it took.
Jackson had a question. Who would have been your first choice if you would have obviously not had the
stompers? My first choice?
Yeah.
He already knows. That's why he asked that question. I wanted WGO. And the only reason why I couldn't get my first plan was to go to Tag Team X, but Tag Team X was already doing their thing. Now, mind you, if you go all the way back to the history of DBW where I was at, my first match was a fatal 4-way with both members of Tag Team X and Chase. And if you pay attention, that was going to be High Power. Okay.
That was I want to say in like May or June, right?
That was
earlier.
That was 2022. That was 2022 October. All Hallows Eve.
2022. Right. Correct. Because then it came back.
Then we kind of ran it back with the Hub City title.
That's what I'm referring to you back in like May of last year.
And it was just me, Maxis, and Chase.
And he said he never knew that, Jackson. He said he never knew that you wanted WGO.
Once Tag Team X had their situation where they really weren't a tag team for a while, because it was like Maxis was doing a singles thing, Cassius was doing a singles thing. The only team at that time that I wanted, because I wanted to turn a team heel. You get what I'm saying? That was my job. I wanted to be heel, and then I was going to find a team that was a face and turn them heel. At that time, the only team that was available was who? WGO.
Yeah, that's a good point. And
then it would have been great because I would have.
He just thought it was a spitballing idea. That's why he was like kind of interested in it.
It's okay. I still love you, Jax. I still love you, bro. Just know, like, yeah, legit. Like,
no, I think there's a lot of things that came good in the DBW experience. And I think DBW has a lot of great talent in it. I don't think I think obviously, look, people have their issues and their philosophical things, and it didn't work out now, but it could happen. Anything's possible. I always look at it and say never in wrestling. You just never know what could happen. But I mean, you're watching the Stompers here, and these guys have won championship after championship, and like, how have they surprised you in like how far they've come in this short amount of time? I mean, they're everywhere. These guys are like, they're the definitions of pro wrestlers, really.
In the 2 years that we've been, really is about to be 3. Mm-hmm. But in this short time, it's it's amazing to see it because Richie tells me a lot, and it's crazy because me and Richie talk like every day, like literally for real. I don't care if it's just a hi and bye, hey, how was work, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But Richie told me in the past, he was like, bro, it was a lot of people that we tried to bring in the group, or it was a lot of people that either me or Rob would try to, bring in the group, and it'd be cool for a second, but then it wouldn't work out later. And he was like, I'm gonna be honest with you. You basically like showed me different. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not just me being a third member of the group. You get what I'm saying? It's not about just wrestling. Like, I call my brothers on a regular basis. I message my brothers on a regular basis. And I do the same with the prodigies on a regular basis.
I love the prodigies. I mean, Jimmy Controversy. I say all the time. Jimmy Controversy raves about the prodigy. He tells me I have a very close relationship with Jimmy Controversy, and he tells me how much the prodigies. He expects big things from them. He is very excited about them. He raves about them. He doesn't even want to talk about guys like Mac 10, the landlord of Sportzwire Radio, Kato, Hardcore, Mike. He's just, I mean, the prodigies. He's just like, he thinks they're going to go even further to where they are now. They're doing a great job in DBW as well.
The thing that really, really makes me proud, though, I'm gonna be honest with you, is regardless of, like, I'm gonna say this and put it out there. The prodigies are also not, I'm not gonna say underneath my wing too, none of that, but we all are in our own circle. You get what I'm saying? So outside of wrestling, I know them sometimes on the real life aspect. Like, I can talk to Richie we talked 4 hours a couple of days ago. You see what I'm saying? Like 4 hours eating, watching. We watch the playoff games together sometimes. You see what I'm saying? Like that's how deep that bond is. It's not just, oh, you're my wrestling buddy, I see you when we have a show. No, we don't do that.
I think there are people that want me to like die on this platform by speaking for 24 hours, but the fact that you pulled off 4 hours with those guys, boy, I really impressed by that. People want me to like just keep talking on Sportswire and never stop, but you guys were able to do that literally.
Man, look, I look at it as you gotta enjoy the time that you have regardless.
Well, talk about the setting here also for us. Talk about the setting that we're in, because a couple of people had questions on it. What is this setting like, and why is this such a cool venue? It's a very cool venue here.
So basically, the venue is set up as like a studio type feel and vibe, where soon as you come out the curtain, crowd is right there, right to how the camera is right now, everything towards the right.
I think somebody said it. It's got a very old like WWF Superstars vibe to it. The entrance and the black and white, kind of the old Manhattan Center. Yep.
It's kind of like how NXT used to be, where they used to dim the lights all the time with their matches.
Yes.
That's exactly what it feels like. As soon as you hit the curtain, the atmosphere, like the crowd, you can't tell how many people is in that crowd, but this is the far back cam. That's the hard cam. It's like 5 rows of people all the way to that guardrail.
Oh my goodness.
And that's just right here in this big area. But on the sides, it's like 2 or 3 more rows right there with people. So it's an actual nice crowd in that atmosphere. It's very loud. The ring is actually good. It's not like the ring is too like hard or too. It's weird. It's weird to explain because I've never been in an area where the ceiling is that low, but it worked, if that makes sense. I think that might have been the only thing that I was kind of like scared of. You feel me? But
I know you've wrestled. I know you've done different things, and we see the what happens here after the match. But did being a wrestler prepare you for this at all? I mean, I don't know if I asked this earlier in the show. People are watching the setup here, and I mean, like, did that at all prepare you, or it's totally like throw it all out the window?
It's what did I just tell my wife? I just told my wife a couple of days ago. Like, I freestyle.
Told her the Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl this year. That's what you told her. No, I'm just kidding. Well, actually, I hope I'm not kidding.
I told her that, and I told her that we was getting Klay Thompson. I'm just saying, we got Klay Thompson.
Well, let's hope we get the Klay Thompson of a few years ago, not this past year. But
all we need him to do is shoot just 4 or 5 times. We're good.
All right. Well, he might do it.
When it comes to this wrestling thing, it's like I can change my character. I can change who I want to be at certain times. Like if they would have told
But you
me
just did just now. That's why I was curious, like, just about that.
it's just in my character. Like I'm the like I said, I'm the chameleon. You put me in a situation, I will figure it out. You tell me, hey, we need you to go out there and play a zombie or something. I'm gonna go out there and be the best freaking zombie in the world. We go out there and play an old man on the corner store, jingle jingle jingle. I'll go do
That's
that
from the
too.
theater background that you had, right?
Yeah, like it's easy for me to just go in there. Like and this match wasn't the first match I refereed. That was actually the second match I did. So the match prior, 2 matches prior, I refereed these 2 big guys, like big behemoth guys, like seriously.
So
And
so I guess the question is, we're here with, of course, Mr. T3 himself, Thomas Taft. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. You have voiced figuratively and literally, we're all wrestling matters, and we're now joined on the Promo Wrestling Federation YouTube page and the Pride Wrestling Federation YouTube page. And if you want to follow Mr. T3, he is on YouTube, Facebook, and also on Instagram. We'll put those links back up. So I guess the better question would be, the first match you referee really helped you prepare for the second one, then, more than anything else.
because when I came out for the first one, of course I was a new ref. Nobody knew me. But at the same time, it's a new company still too. So nobody knows anything. They just see you in a zebra outfit. They're like, hey, it's a zebra. Okay, you know what he's gonna do. 1, 2, 3, winner is keep it moving. So the first match, I played it off great. It was I would say 2. I was in the ring with like 2 Jackson Snows the first match. That's a great example to use. You get what I'm saying? Let's just say that. I was in the ring with 2 Jackson Snows, okay? And it was a spot where one dude did the last call, the fall away slam, and threw him all the way across the ring. And I took the impact in the cell and I fell, and it made the crowd go off. So I'm like, okay, I got him in the palm. They really think I'm a ref. So you see what I'm saying? Like going back out for later to do the Stompers match, it was just a little bit easier. I'm like, okay, they really think I'm a ref. Now I have to pull the swerve. Keep the shirt underneath the referee's shirt. Go out there and raise the people's hands that I'm about to attack. Have DVG push me down. I don't know if you peeped that. Had DVG throw me down.
And we know DVG is obviously kind of like you in reverse, because he's, was started off doing introductions and announcing, and he's, dabbling also in the wrestling world. And we're seeing him, move along in the circuit.
Very proud of DVG. Very proud of DVG. DVG balances 4 personalities a day.
I think he's got one of the hardest jobs in wrestling, because he's got to obviously do these ringside introductions, and he's got to do it live in front of an audience. He's got to be expected to get it all right. He's also then on top of that doing some voiceover work. He's also doing now stuff outside the ring. He's helping with that. And then he's training to be a wrestler. I mean, that guy, I think he's like the definition of, you want to talk about versatile. You want to talk about role players who know to play their role. I mean, he might be the most important player in the entire sport. I mean, he's the true definition. We could talk about who's in, who's out, and all wrestling matters all day. But to me, he's the pure definition of it, because he's going out there. He's got 4 different roles he's playing.
DVG to me is the grinder. And when I say that, I'm not saying it as a metaphor, good burger or none of that. You feel me? But
voice, by the way, welcome to the Good Burger. Can I take your order? You do have
the
voice.
Yeah, thank you, bro. But like he's Chad first, then it's DVG, then it's Antonio Arias, then you have Salvador Hushman. And you don't really see Salvador Hushman like that. You don't really see Antonio like that. But you do see Chad and DVG.
But I think what's also so fascinating about him is that he's been like this big YouTube star. He's been this guy that's gotten millions of views. And he could obviously just stay in the world of voiceovers. But instead, he's gone out and he really wants to be a wrestler. He really, I think that's so fascinating, because we have a guy, James Taylor, that's always on our shows, and he's a big TikTok influencer, a YouTube guy, and he was a wrestler first. But DVG, he could have just stuck in his lane doing his Super Mario voiceovers, doing Sonic, doing all the video game stuff, and he would have made like a nice income for him, I'm sure, and had a nice career. But no, he wants to go out and do wrestling. And I think that speaks to the testament of his character. And I think actually it speaks to the testament of the many characters that are in wrestling. You think about the Stompers; these guys go out and travel all the place. You think about the Proj, even guys in DBW, whether they are or not anything. These guys are going out there. Everybody's putting their blood, sweat, and tears out there. And I think that really, like, if you strip it all down, forget about some of the things. At the end of the day, if you're happy doing something, go for it. But I think it speaks volumes.
Yeah.
You have guys like DBG that are going out there, they're playing 4 different roles. They don't have to do that. I just think that speaks volumes to his character.
And that's even with me. Like I told you, when I go to certain companies, I don't just send them, hey, my name is Thomas Taft. I'm a member of the Stompers, or yeah, I don't do that. I'll come to them. I might come to you from this page and say, hey, this is the Thomas Taft. But then I might message you from another page and be like, hey, my name is so-and-so and so-and-so. Do you need a referee? Hey, are you looking for a camera crew? Hey, are you looking for a ring crew? Anything, because I'm starting to realize, like I said, that timeline for me to be
you said you're 33 now, and you don't see yourself wrestling past 40. So I got
children. I got to think about their careers and their
I'm
future.
glad you said that too, because when Craven was here, he talked about the fact that, like, our coach is like, look, I'm 41 with 4 kids. I'm looking to just have fun. I'm just looking to go out there and help people. And I think that that's a good point you made, because you're a family man too. You got kids, you got a wife, and like, you're just trying to do the best you can.
I've had a conversation with my wife, and I told her, if it came down to me getting that contract, everybody, and this is what I say about contract, okay? I'm not saying a contract to be just an in-ring competitor at all. I'm saying just for somebody to come to me and say, hey, here's your contract. You're part of whatever. You're part of this company, but this is what you're doing. You get what I'm saying? Like I told you, the resume thing. I'm not worried about in 7 years when I'm 40. Oh, well, I just burned my body out. I didn't went to training here. I didn't wrestle here, wrestle there. And I'm not going to do that. When I'm 40, if I don't get a contract to be WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, all these million different companies somewhere, I don't care which one it is. Everybody aims for the top one, which is WWE, right? That's what everybody aims for. But if
AEW, I guess you could say.
If somebody, let's say somebody all the way down the line, maybe Amazing Red, House of Glory.
Hey, listen, my friend Chris Urban was traded by the Amazing Red.
What if they decide to reach out? Not to me as a wrestler, but they say, hey, we heard you're in the DC area. You're not that far from New York. We need a referee.
My friend Chris Urban has got to be like 40, and he had his first match 2 years ago. He hasn't wrestled many since, but you just never know.
Look, I wouldn't even care if they caught, like I told Richie and Rob of the Stompers, there's other ways around it. We could go to these shows and companies when they have shows that are close by. Hey, do you need any security or extra hands on deck? Yes, we are wrestlers, but we're not trying to be on your show as a wrestler. Do you need extras? Do you need any security? Do you need any ring crew? Because when they come to your hometown, they're not going to tell you, WWE's not going to tell you, hey, we're coming to Washington, D.C. We need a couple more hands on deck. They're not going to tell you that. You got to already be plugged in. You get what I'm saying? When
I was listening to the story of Scott Hall was talking about how he got into wrestling, and he was in a Publix and he met Barry Windham, and they told him to show up at 12. He shows up at 11. And that was the rest was history. So you have to, you're not going to hand it to you. If they tell you to go somewhere, get there early, and the rest will take itself all out and sort it in.
When AEW remember when AEW first started and they was going to all the little tiny arenas everywhere?
Yep.
They came to DC and they went to the arena that the Mystics play at now, okay? Yep. That arena doesn't even hold more than like 10,000 people, but it doesn't matter because they was doing that little pandemic tour thing where it wasn't that many people in the crowd.
Now, limited arrangement, yeah.
But they still let people know, hey, we're coming here. And then they did Elevation, they did Dark, and they did AEW Dynamite, all in the same place, right?
Mm-hmm.
They still needed security. They still needed people to help with the parking lot. They still needed people to help with the setup in the arena and all types of stuff. So if you plugged in with not just wrestling, but just your own neighborhood, your own community and stuff like that, you can go look up stuff. Hey, let me go see if they need any, I don't know, crossing guards for this event, or I don't know, parking lot people. I don't know. It's ways to get around it. You see what I'm saying? If I can find a company that just says, hey, Thomas Taft, we're actually interested in you being, I don't know, a tech guy. I'm okay with walking around with a headset on my head and a camera for 4 hours. Because guess what? That check I'm getting and that contract is going to say whatever company I'm working with. It doesn't have to
Right.
be me being in a wrestling ring. Because wrestling, I'm going to be honest. You start wrestling right now for WWE, unless your character sells, unless you're over as fuck, you're going to be gone in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody watches Maven's, podcast on YouTube, he basically had, I think, 4 years, and his career in the wrestling world pretty much ended right after that. I mean,
That's it. Like,
realistically,
that's it. Like,
if you're, you played football. The average span of a professional athlete, if they make the 4 major sports, it's between 3 and 4 years, depending on the sport. So that means, you're 26 years old, 27 years old, and you have
yeah.
to figure out what to do next with your life. So if you think about it from a wrestling standpoint, you can only do so much. So if you want to stay involved, and if you're going to do it professionally, maybe you should become a referee. Maybe you should learn some of the inside outs in the ring, and maybe that'll help you in terms of where you want to go. And if you want to follow Mr. T3 Thomas Taft, you can hit that sub button for him on YouTube. I got some more comments. Let me get to them before I present to you something, before we get to a few other things here in the show. I owe D'Lo Smith an appearance on Sportswire. I have so many people that I owe an appearance to on Sportswire, but I will certainly put him out there for sure, because I know that he's a good man. I want to say hello. He says hello to you. Also, D'Angelo the Flame was happy. Also here, this is a funny one. I don't know what it meant, but I'll just run with it. You can have all the success in the world in wrestling, but women don't want to stay with them. I don't know enough of people's personal lives, but I'm just going to say, yeah, okay. I think in this one, everybody should say, yeah, okay.
That might have just been a funny pun. I don't know. That was just
Yeah,
funny.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know enough of people's details, and you'd have to ask everybody that's in all these shows. I've never been in a locker room. I'm not a wrestler, so I don't know enough of those things. I'm just going to say, okay, if that's
right.
whatever. I'll move on from that. Omen Black would like to say, welcome to my show, T3. He says, greetings from the boogeyman of the Midwest. He loves how the venue looks in the video. The video was reminded me.
Yo, I'm telling you, yo, like that venue that's when we walked in the door, I was like, hey, yo, this is different.
It reminds me, there's a venue.
Cool vibe.
There's a venue in the UK. It's in a very small town called Barrow, which is a cul-de-sac town in the UK. And they ran shows for a company called Knockout Wrestling, which I did some work with for a couple years during COVID and after COVID. And they would run it in a place called Cloud 9 in the Lounge. And Cloud 9 in the Lounge looked almost like that. The only difference was they had one more balcony and a lounge for like a bar. But it's almost identically, in terms of that venue where you were, looked like almost the same thing.
It's crazy because that building actually did have an upstairs part. Like when we went to the back to like the bathroom and everything is like an upstairs part. But so it's kind of like a downstairs thing where they got it closed off, and that's where you see what I'm saying? Then it's a big old back locker room type area in the back and all of that. So it's definitely a vibe. And it's in Ohio.
What a small world. The guys in Summer Bash were Bremen, Ohio. Where in Ohio were you guys at?
Bridgeport, I believe. Cheap Shot, Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots.
Well, I'm sure if some of the guys are in the chat, tell us how far that is from you guys. I think people would like to know about that. Yeah, I don't know.
I do believe the next show is July 27th. That's what I got upcoming.
Oh, so you're going to be back there then?
July 27th upcoming.
Wow.
I'm not going to put too much out there. But
if you don't have,
just know my name's T3. And everything happens in threes for a reason.
Well, I got something for you that kind of goes into that, but I got still some more comments. Has anyone cracked their heads on top of the ceiling?
Hey, yo, I was scared for that because I was a ref for 2 matches, and I was like, I'm in here with big guys. That's all I kept preparing for. I was like, please don't hit the ceiling. Please don't hit the ceiling.
That reminds me, I'll tell you the story. When I used to play CYO basketball as a kid, I used to play when I was in Brooklyn growing up, and we had a gym. This was after, for whatever reason, we had 2 gyms, but one of the gyms, it was such an old, it would look like if you would have saw like a 1950s like high school basketball gym or a 1950s
The Will Smith gym.
This was worse than that. But I mean, I can tell you that when we used to go and go up there, and we'd have to walk all the way up the stairs. And then when we would go up there, it was almost like when you were practicing, it was like on top of the roof. It was like crazy. It was just
Heck
like, and I would
no.
go up there. And then when I was in college, I had a health class, and when we would go up there, my professor, who was like an 80-something-year-old guy, he would get us up there to go and exercise, and for whatever
Right.
reason, he would take us up to all the way up, like in the top of the roof of the gym. That was just where he wanted. It wasn't like to go to the other room. It was more like to go
Hey,
and just,
yo.
that's what he did. He was just he was that was his way of getting us to crack the whip. I don't know why, but. D'Angelo the Flame will love to be there. He was in Atlanta last weekend. This past weekend, he was in Massachusetts, NEW. Saturday, he was in Alabama. This coming weekend, he's at Summer Bash. He's literally everywhere. He was in TBW a couple weeks ago. He was in really everywhere. So maybe he'll go there.
I just know in the last 6 months.
I'm going to connect you. When I'm off the air,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you his Facebook because you probably have some mutual contacts.
Okay.
Top rope looks like a risky area. Yeah, it looked like it.
Hey, yo. It's another video is going to drop, Jax. I'm going to send it to you so you can see what happened, all right?
It was funny. I think Jax was waiting for you to come on. I was like, do I tell him? I don't know. Should I? And I guess it was like, well, here you go. It was because I was like, I don't know what people were going to think tonight. But I think, honestly, this has really been a good conversation. Man, by and large.
WGO know we family. I just want to know why you got shade. Well, I got shades on in the crib because if you would have started off at the beginning of the show, you would have known that this was
you put them on. Yeah, you put them on.
I'm saying I had to put the spotlight on. You feel me?
How are you alive? I want to say hello to James Taylor, of course, the owner of ROBW. He has his own show, the Nemesis Sessions. He was just on his own new page. He was spinning some music, and he's got his, I think it was a Taffy's Lounge or Laffy Taffy's Lounge or something like that. He'll correct me on it. But he's got, he's playing hip hop. He's playing low Wi-Fi beats. He's got a lot of cool stuff out there. Hello to Mr.
I need some of that.
Anthony Steele says hello, by the way.
So, what's up, Steele? How you, man?
Anthony Steele, of course. He is the most controversial figure in
backyard wrestling. Trades, bro. Yeah. Definitely.
I just want to do the best I can. I've done a lot in a short amount of time in the wrestling business. All I need to do now is run my own show, LOL. Well, I'm sure he'll figure it out, right? I'm sure you and him.
Hey, DBG. You know we manifest stuff over here, man. Everything we do elevated. You know the vibes.
And he was in one of the vlogs with the Stompers. He was in one of the vlogs, I recall. I remember he was in the vlog.
Hey, if you that video that's on Cheap Shots, the end of it, it's actually a promo at the end of that video.
Good morning, Taft. Is it morning where we are? Am I missing something? But
Scarlet, hold up. Is that the Scarlet that I think? There's one that's in England?
It's 4:00 in the morning is UK time.
Right. Is that Scarlet the wrestler that's in England?
I'll come back to the comments and we'll find out. I still got about 7 or 8 more. Kid Mike would actually like to say, all BS aside, how's it going? And he says hello. And
you know the vibes, bro. Everything is good, bro.
That's good. Listen, water under the bridge, you know? That's what it's about. Water under the bridge.
Everybody needs to just wait till like Thanksgiving or something like that, and then maybe we can just go get a turkey, sit at the table. You see what I'm saying? I mean, sometimes all it takes is some good barbecue or some turkey or something like that.
Yeah, and I think that's really what the purpose of tonight is. At the end of the day, when you strip it all down, I say it all the time. It doesn't matter where you wrestle, where you're from, what it is. We're all on the same team. At the end of the day, you know, we're not getting rich off the backyard and the underground wrestling or the independent wrestling circuit. We're all, at the end of the day, doing it because we're fans. We love this.
I'm going to say this so we can clear the air, right? Regardless of who it is. Outside of this wrestling stuff, I would not wish anything upon anybody. I don't wish no hurt. You feel me? No messed up health. No, you feel me? No death. No messed up bankruptcy, money. No nothing. I want everybody to be blessed as much as I am.
That's it, man. Listen,
I'm just being honest because I'm gonna be honest with you. I was at a dark place when I was dealing with DBW. I was at a dark place.
I even saw, recently. You posted something on Facebook, and I messaged you. And I was like, "Everything all right? Anything I can do for you?"
I be dealing with a lot of stuff on my own accord. Like
I spoke to you about it off the air, and I was like,
to say everybody's
not
a
even
good
bringing
person.
you on. I think that's really the reason. Like we're here because I was like talking. I was like, "Listen, anything I could do for you?" I was just like,
for real. Like not. I'm gonna say it like this so people can understand. Because my name is Thomas Taft as a wrestler. Okay. Travis is the human. That's who I am. but I deal with my own split personality disorders every day. I don't walk around with a skull named Thaddeus, and I don't have 3 more skulls up here for nothing. You see what I'm saying? Like, I literally do, because I talk to them. This is what comforts me. I sit in my lounge all day. If I having a bad day, sometimes I will go and grab Thaddeus, and me and Thaddeus will sit here and watch Rush Hour and laugh. This is legit, because I'm one of them people that when I try to be a good guy to some people, it doesn't work. So I end up taking that good energy and then I take it away. So then I ball it up. You feel me? Like, I'm being honest. Like I told you earlier, it's people in DBW locker room that I still love and care about, and I still check on.
I know we were talking about this. Listen, honestly, I love the product. I've always said DBW is a product I enjoy. I enjoy Total Domination, and I'm really looking forward to the DBW VTW stuff planned. I mean, there's a lot of great.
Hey, Mike, we can't have a barbecue if you bring in pork ribs. I need beef, yo.
And he said, you always checked up on his son's football. Yep.
Always. Come on now, bro. Regardless of what the fuck goes on with wrestling, bro. Regardless if me and you talked and had an issue or not. I'm just being honest, bro. Like, I was in a dark
place. A lot of good came out. D'Angelo Flame wants to connect with you, and Anthony Steele wants to wrestle you.
Nobody, and I'm putting this out there because K Mike is here. And this is for everybody. I don't care who it is. DBW, I don't care what company you're from. Nobody physically took the time to say, you know what? Let me call Taft on my own. You know what? Let me hit him up. Not even about DBW. Let me just see how he is. Because you know what? A lot of this stuff could have been avoided. A lot of stuff could have went a different way. But because of my mind state and where I see myself, I don't see myself physically going somewhere every month anymore, leaving my woman and my kids behind, where that's my biggest support system. I'm just being honest.
Listen, I know it's, you have a family, it's responsible.
Just being honest, like, that's my biggest support when it comes to me going to these shows and these events, other than the Stompers and Chad and the Prodigies, because that's my circle too. But when it comes to me leaving out that door, when I leave out that door now, I'm going by myself. I'm hitting these trips by myself. I'm going to Jersey by myself, other than the Stompers and my team, but I'm going to Jersey by myself. I'm going to North Carolina by myself. I'm going to Ohio by myself. I'm doing all these trips now, PA, whatever. I'm going to all these places by myself.
You should stop by Summer Bash if you're not doing anything this weekend. I'm sure you should stop by if you were near Bremen, Ohio. I don't know where your schedule is like this weekend, but I'm sure there's guys there that would love to meet you, like LaFlame and Steele. I'm sure they, would love to meet you if that's something you want.
It's July 2nd. Just keep that in mind, okay? How many days until then? 3.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm sure a lot of guys would love to meet you.
Most def, man. Like, look, let's just say this: you never know where I would ever be at in general. Like,
I wouldn't put it past anybody. And I also want people to follow your Apex Championship Wrestling YouTube page. But before I get to some few other final things, I wanted to now finally present to you something, because we've talked a lot about a lot of different things in the past, present, and the future. But I think it's a special time to give you something, because after all, in this state, it's T3 Day on the Sportzwire radio platform. So congratulations. I have no doubt that the best is yet to come. And, whatever happened, it happened. But we move forward. And congratulations. I'll send you this when we're off the air. And I wanted you to have this. And hopefully you'll take this as a certificate and a token of appreciation. And, I have no doubt that you're going to do a lot of great things ahead. And, you have a lot of energy. You have a higher power-like energy. And, I think that it's going to only help you go and do whatever your heart desires. And, whatever it is, it'll come.
I appreciate this. I appreciate the token. For real, I do. Because and it's not even just about the fact that it's my name on a certificate or anything like that. It's the fact that I know what you've been doing before I ever came on your show in November, and I've still been watching it, and I've still been sitting here, and I've still been supporting it. From the highs to the lows.
You tell me. You actually have told me for months about shows I do.
From some of the interviews where I'm just like, to some of the interviews where I'm just like, okay, I'll come back in like an hour. They're still talking? Oh, okay, let me watch.
I've had a bunch of those shows. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the people that would tell you, Tom, I actually enjoy everything that you do. from the people that might have a problem with me or a problem with the
we were always good. I mean, the Stoppers and I always speak from time. Honestly, I don't really have a problem with anybody on the platform. I think everybody, everybody's always welcome.
I think I'm just misunderstood. And I've been saying that for a while.
But Aaron Blaze, that was a big topic on today's show. Aaron Blaze was misunderstood. James Taylor and Anthony Steele, I think, get misunderstood.
Because I can be an asshole. I know it. I'm an Aries. Brooklyn Prodigy member Behemoth will tell you our birthdays are 3 days apart, 3 years apart. We are the biggest assholes, yo. We will sit amongst each other and talk BS all day and literally come back to each other and be like, man, screw you. I'm gone. Talk to you later. Hey, bro, you all right? You trying to play the game? This is our vibe. This is who we are. So a lot of people have to also take the sensitivity level off too. I'm being honest. When it comes to this wrestling thing, I don't care if it's backyard. I don't care if it's underground, indie, pro, whatever. I was built to take criticism. I have a freaking music studio in my closet. If you can't take criticism, yo, you can't do nothing in this world, from wrestling, from music to acting.
We talked about this a couple of days ago on the show. We were talking about, criticism when Jack Delta was here, and I brought up the example of,
And I'm gonna tell you some real ish right here. Judgment came to me in the past and told me that. He was like, Taft, you gotta be able to take criticism. I literally took that conversation and I ran with it because I was one of the people that was thinking, I'm not doing the right thing. I must not be doing what needs to be. You feel like I used to really beat myself down. Like, go out there, still get a 1, 2, 3 win, go in the back and be like, I don't think I did this match right. I don't think this was good. I don't think this, I would real life sit there and bash myself and then come home and everybody's like, yo, your match was good. Like, what are you doing? You're tripping. Like, okay, you could have did this, but you're overthinking, because that's how I am. You feel me? I'm not a perfectionist, but I want to be the person that if I say, hey, I'm about to go make you a burger, I want you to bite into this burger and be like, yo, this burger is banging. You get what I'm saying? I don't want you to, I could have just went to McDonald's. You get what I'm saying?
I don't eat McDonald's, by the way. I do not eat a McDonald's hamburger. I don't mind getting a soda from McDonald's, but I truly believe in, getting a cooked hamburger, a well-cooked one.
Shout out to my boy Richie for the sweet teas and the nuggets. You know the vibes.
Yeah, well, those are good things, and I'm glad you're enjoying them.
That's it, man. That's the only thing you might catch from me for real. Maybe.
Jack Delta had a joke, so he's joking when he says, because he's a big movie guy. I can't believe Tom was able to get Wesley Snipes' Blade on the show. A bigger draw than anyone on the platform. He was joking, by the way.
Hey, I'm not going to lie to you. You're like the third person that has said that, Jack. You're like the third person that said it. I have put these shades on, and I sit back, and they were like Wesley Snipes, or I've had people call me the what's the dude that was on the movie Biker Boys? The Orlando dude. The actor.
Oh, Orlando Jordan? No, the other guy. I forget his name. Somebody will tell me out there. He was in a bunch of those movies for a while.
You ever watch Biker Boy movie? Y'all know what I'm talking about. The dude Orlando. He had the leather jacket with the thick little shades.
I always did like Wesley Snipes in movies. He was in Wildcats. He was in certainly New Jack City. Might have been, I think, his best role. New Jack City.
Wesley Snipes should have been in a wrestling movie.
Money Train. That was actually Jennifer Lopez, one of her first big breaks. I mean,
yeah, definitely Money.
I think a lot of people want to see her have some bigger breaks when she bends down, but that's a different conversation for a different time. But that's the real mic drop of the night, right? I told you there'd be a mic drop, but that's
Did the Reverend say that? The Reverend said that.
People. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't censor himself, so I guess we're good.
Well, I said it in a respectful way that some people would like to see that, but that was obviously, her first big break. He was also White Man, which is a great movie. Yeah, Wesley Snipes was a great actor for a while, and then unfortunately,
I'm just glad she didn't get eaten in Anaconda. You see what I'm saying? That's the first movie I saw and was Anaconda. I wasn't trying to get her eaten.
Yeah, well, I think Money Train came before. That was Ice Cube and Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, it was Ice Cube.
Damn, Tom, thirsty on me. Well, I said it wasn't me. That was in general. People would want that. I actually go back on the tape, but Biker Boys was a deep cut. I actually forgot about Biker Boys.
Go watch Biker Boys. You gotta watch Biker Boys, and you gotta watch the movie Torque. You remember Torque?
I did not see Torque. What is Torque about for the audience? I don't know.
It's like Biker Boys turned up to the max.
I did not see that. No, I did
Torque.
not. Orlando
Tortv.
Jones was the actor, by the way. Thank you to my crack staff. Who I knew who was in a bunch of those movies around that time. Orlando Jones. Yep. And Jack wanted to say also it's the shades and the mustache combo that kind of gave him the Wesley Snipes reference.
You know what's crazy? I'm 33, just starting to get all of this, y'all.
Well, some people mature later on. I don't know.
And it's kind of weird because it's been making my persona and my.
All right, you want to? All right, you know we got people tuned in. I'm gonna lighten the mood up here before I get to a few closes. You want to see something? I'm gonna show you something that if you're tuned in here, hang on tight because I'm gonna show you something. You want to talk about clean cut? You want to talk about baby faces? I'm gonna show you a real baby face when I put this on the screen. I got something for you. You're gonna chuckle. To be me from I don't know 6 years ago, just about. So hold on for the audience. This is what you should. This is why everybody tune in. You want to really lighten the mood up. I'm gonna show you something that's really, really really rare. I see whatever you get it to it. I got to it here. Oh, there you go. That's a baby face right there. See that guy?
This is not the Reverend.
Nope. That was 6 years ago. That was on my birthday, actually. I went to a hockey game at the time, and I got my picture taken with the owner of the New York Islanders.
That's the owner, yeah. He's still the owner now, isn't he?
He is the owner, and I had a friend or two that actually was able to get me a connection. So I was, this was 6 years ago.
6 years ago. Now let's go back. 6 years ago, let's ask this Tom. So Tom, did you think that you would be doing what you're doing now 6 years ago? From now?
No. But I did think about doing a podcast, but not at that particular moment in October 2018. No, I didn't think I'd be here talking to you. I didn't think I'd have 24 people watching me live right now. No, I didn't think that. I mean, I would be foolish to think that.
Elevation, man.
That's the last time.
Elevates.
And that's the last time.
Elevates, yo.
Well, you definitely did, but that's the last time I'm clean shaven because about 2 months later I wound up growing this, and I did have long hair. I just put it in my baseball cap, but I wasn't.
Okay.
That was 6. That was 6 years ago.
That's crazy.
But that was funny.
I've been trying to grow. I've been trying to find a way to grow a beard. I feel like it'll make my character like.
And I knew people would laugh at. D'Angelo Flame was like, hell no. Yeah, that was 6 years ago. It's not now. People would say, that was that. And he looks like Murr and Joe from Impractical Jokers put together. Yeah, could be. Maybe that's really where I should have went. And face reveal. That was my face. I thought that would lighten the mood. So you got lucky.
Nah, for real, that's crazy.
No, but it's not a bad thing. I mean, I think
it's not a bad thing at all. He said, "I hate that I see it."
But I'm not changing. I'm not changing. This is my. I've had.
All I'm gonna say is this. All I'm gonna say is this. The last time you feel me, you showed like a fashion statement. Somebody copied it. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to have.
I think this is what the whole show for the night was, to show this. But no, I did it on one of the shows prior. But yeah, I mean, look, that was 6 years ago, and I'm not changing anytime soon. So that's just you're stuck. So if the audience out there, you're stuck with me. You're stuck with me every night on Sportswire Radio. You're stuck with me, and you're stuck. So
give it like 2 to 3 years. I'm gonna wake up one day and this joint just going to woof out of nowhere. I'm gonna be like, yo, Tom, what happened?
Well, I'll be here waiting for it, and I'm sure.
You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, I'm waiting. Every now and then I wake up, I be scratching my face. I'm like, yeah, that's just a little fake little.
Well, how do you think I feel?
Hey, yo.
I actually know. It's actually at this point I can't really get rid of it because people are like, I know you too much. So at this point, I'm not gonna get rid of it.
People don't even know I cut my hair. Like I cut my dreads. Remember my dreads was long. I had long.
I do remember
dreads.
It. Yeah,
I cut them off because. Like it was time. Like I go through this little phrase where it's
Chase Wakefield cut his hair too. He cut it. I think Jack Delta wrestled him right before he had cut his hair. I think Jack could probably quote me on it, but Jack Delta wrestled him in VTW right before he cut his hair. And I hear through the grapevine that there's somebody else in DBW that cut their hair, and I don't believe it's still. He's supposed to be here Saturday night. I guess we'll find out then, but. That's Corey Graves I'm talking about. Yeah, that's what Chase Wakefield said. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen him on TV.
I'm gonna say this. I did say, quote unquote, on my first show with you. I
remember. Yeah.
I said, Big Tex, be aware of Corey.
Well,
I said what I said, and I'm just saying.
Well, there were people that did say it here. Cyrus talked about it, and unfortunately, at Cyrus's expense, there were other guys that spoke about it. But it's It's here
I
nor there.
tried to warn you. We tried to tell you.
He did.
Return the slime.
All right, so obviously,
Thurman, no. I saw that. Don't say Thurman. I saw that,
all
Jackson.
right, so we've talked a lot. I want to get over to a couple things before we sign off. First is I always ask this people. You've been here, I know, before in the past, but I'm going to ask you anyway since we're still halfway through the year. What are your goals for the rest of the year?
Goals for the rest of the year: continue to elevate, continue to travel, go to different places, meet different people, work with different talent. I don't care if it's me being a referee. I don't care if I'm just a manager, whatever it is. To continue to expand, because this time next year, I don't want to come back on here and say, "Hey, well,
I
I'm
want
just."
you back before like 7 months. It was like
Yeah,
7 months that you last came back. I can't have you every 7 months. I want you more than that.
I want it to always be a different, not just a different level or pedestal, but we're in the summertime now, right? So if I come back in the fall, I want it to be like, okay, summer's over, it's fall. What you got planned now for the fall?
I'm actually a little depressed thinking about that. September is like, I know football are very excited, but I really am depressed at the thought that we've only got like 2.5 to 3 months more of like, light
literally,
daylight.
like,
Yeah, I'm a little depressed about that.
I do believe that from July 27th, when we go to Ohio, that's Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots, Bridgeport, Ohio. That's the 27th. It will be Meter Stompers and DVG all there. Okay. I do know that William Renee, if you know who William Renee is, or if you heard it, he's a becoming wrestler. He just actually won his second title in West Virginia. But him and his partners and his family are the ones that are running Pro Wrestling Cheap Shots. And I'm actually going to put it out there now because I don't know if he's watching it or not. But I'm declaring myself as the one to be in the triple threat match with William Renee and the member of the syndicate. I'm putting it out there now. Okay, so don't worry about trying to find a third person or who's going to be. No, I'm representing our squad. I'm representing the Stompers July 27th. My boys can go handle themselves as a tag team like they always do. And the Stompers will be leaving out Cheap Shots 2-0. I'm putting it out. I'm putting it out there now. July 27th.
Heard it here first on Sportswire Radio. What a small I'm putting it out
world there. I'm not even worried about, I'm not stressing it or none of that. I'm really not. And future references, any shows or anything that's open, or if somebody needs a referee and it's like in the local area, reach out. I'm open.
How far are you from Bremen, Ohio?
I don't know.
Well, I'm sure they could use a referee.
I will look it up.
I'm sure I can.
We'll chit chat. We'll figure that out. And Omen, you can message me.
By the way, would you like to referee in Michigan?
Michigan?
Yeah, Michigan. ROEW.
Where in Michigan? I have actually know some people in Michigan. That's why I'm asking. I'm not saying like on some crazy stuff. Like, where in Michigan?
No. I actually, Jack would know that. Jack lives right by the ROEW arena.
Jack, message me.
I'll connect you.
Anyone that look. I don't care who you are. You in this chat, you want to message me? Message me. My DMs are open.
I would actually recommend ROEW to actually do anything with, because they're really like one of my favorite YouTube products to watch right now. I mean, leave aside anything. ROEW is like Jack Delta, Aaron Blaze, James Taylor is a household name.
Hey, Jack, when you say cheap plug, what's the expensive one?
Delta sent a follow request. So, I mean, he could talk to you about that. He's their champion, by the way. He's like, like maybe the greatest traveling wrestler that the Backyard and the Underground.
Yeah, man. He's a legend. I watch Jack. Trust me, Jack. It's a lot. This is the crazy thing. A lot of people look at me. They don't know who I am. If they do know me, it's because they watch DBW or they have heard about me.
Came on here. There was people that tuned into.
And I've been on here too. Even in the comments, sometimes live chat.
Yeah, you've been here. No, you've been here. You always talk to me. I have to say,
you shared our posts and stuff sometimes on Facebook. It's definitely a mutual interactive where people know each other some type of way, even if you don't know them.
And I think that's what we've built here. And I got a good question from Kid Mike. And before I say hello to my friend Mr. GAC, who I know very well, who's going to come on here soon. He wants to say how everyone's doing in this fine evening.
GAC, what it do, man?
He's a good talent, and I know he's coming to Sports. I actually have to admit, I have so many people coming to Sportswire at this point that like I don't even know who's on first, second, and third. That's kind of why like
Hey yo, you gonna break the record? You
I
gonna
was
break
like,
the
I know
record?
we're having Atomic
You
Titan
might
tonight.
break the record. Hey Tom,
Oh
from
God.
January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, if you break the record for the most podcast streams this year, YouTube owes you an award. I'm saying it now on this stream today. They owe you an award. Because you really have been running it up. I'm not gonna lie. If you think about from January all the way to now, if you do, let's just say 3 a day, right?
I don't want to do 3. I can't do 3 a day. I can do one. One I'm okay with. 2 is like
You've been doing about 3 a day, Tom.
Thank you for counting.
I'm just saying, if I go on my YouTube in the morning and I see you drop something in the morning, then you come back in the afternoon. I'm like, okay, I got one for dinner too. You pretty much give me breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Sports.
I have actually heard that from people, but thank you for confirming that.
Just being honest, bro.
No, it's okay. Listen, trust me.
30 days in a month, man. Look, you do 2 a day, 30 days in a month. That's 60. Now you do the math. 60 times 12. That's like 720. I'm just saying, my boy.
I think I have done. I think last month I did like 40 something shows. I did like 40 something in June. I did about 40 something. Yeah, I did. January. I think it was January this year. I did like 50 something, and I did like I had a coach from the United States amputee women's soccer team who, if we're really gonna shoot and drop at Hiroshima, I would give every penny I have to marry. But I'm sure she would kill me for saying that. Her name is Paige.
Hey yo.
Yep, I would marry her, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I don't think that she'll appreciate me saying that. But I'm sure somebody
she's not watching this right now.
No, she's a soccer coach. She's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida right now, probably partying with like 50 of her friends. She's not listening to this, but I'm sure somebody will tip her off, and then she'll be like really upset. But I would say I would definitely pretty much give her every penny I have and say, would you like to be like the Linda McMahon to Vince McMahon before he went in trouble?
Yo, did he just say that?
Well,
this is the most unfiltered I've ever heard you.
Yeah, well, I don't think that I don't think she will be interested, but that's okay. I have a lot of more comments here, but first, who's your dream opponent before I come back to marrying Paige Palazzolo?
Hey, yo. My dream opponent. Okay, at first it was Leo Rush.
Good one.
That was always because he's from my area. You see what I'm
saying?
I
knew that. Yeah, I knew
that was always my first person. It didn't matter because if it was like him being from my area for real, but that was like just the first person that I always like Leo. Because me and Leo small. I think we could actually like do something. I'm not really a high flyer type person. I'm more of like a striker and a technical submission type person. But I think that would be cool for him to be doing all the flippity hoppity stuff. And I'm just like, no, break your leg and break it down and keep you on the ground the whole time. You see what I'm saying? That's always been one of my dream opponents. As a kid, though, I always wanted to get in the ring with the Big Show for some reason.
The Big Show?
Yeah, because I like the David Goliath story.
All right.
It'll be the easiest thing to sell. Think about it. He's big as crap. I'm little as hell. I can easily just, choke slam, clothesline.
I mean, Rey Mysterio, is,
probably look how Rey did with Great Khali. He beat the Great Khali because Great Khali slipped.
Well, Rey Mysterio beat Kevin Nash on Monday Nitro years ago.
Right. And that was clean, too. He didn't beat him dirty. He beat him clean. He really beat Kevin Nash. See, people think, even though it's storyline and stuff like that, yes. But in my eyes, as a kid, I was like, Undertaker, he's creepy. Kane, he looks like he's going to kill you. Big Show, he just looks like the big, gentle giant, even though he was like evil. He was supposed to be menacing. I'm like, that's not really Big Show.
Yeah, Big Show. I mean, he had a weird career because he was like, he didn't have that uniform consistent. At times, he was a really dominant big man. Other times, he was like either out of shape or just playing different roles. But it's an interesting name you bring up, though. A very interesting name. And, but I've got some more comments. That expensive one is pleading me for you to come and paying for it. I don't have my money, which, yeah, he probably doesn't. Because Aaron Blaze talked about that Jack Delta makes pizzas. But that's not a bad thing. All I asked was, what kind of pizza does Jack Delta make? And Aaron Blaze had no comment on that. Because I'm from New York, and, pizza's a big thing. That's what
pizza is a big thing in New York. Definitely pizza.
It was the only, I looked forward to when I was a kid every Friday when my father had enough money, he would, if we were lucky, we would order pizza every Friday night because my mother would cook or try to cook throughout the week. A lot of times it wasn't every night that we cooked, but I would get pizza. And, growing up in Brooklyn, The
My
epicenter.
dad would only give us pizza probably like on Monday because it was like Papa John's, and it was
Oh,
always right after.
I never had Papa John's, so
It's
I
like,
wouldn't
and it
know.
was and it was like right after, like, you know how like they used to give you the little promos when they're watching the Redskins get a certain
Yeah.
amount of touchdown. I'm like, yo, are we really hoping that the Redskins score a certain amount so we can get pizza?
Yeah, I mean, there was, we had a thing called the marketeer where you get that in the circuits. But yeah, that's
Mhm.
what he's referring to. Yes, I have done, and I'm on throughout the week. I'm here tomorrow with the Tennessee Backyard guys going in the Hall of Fame. I'm with Summer Bash. I think you're here, D'Angelo, Thursday. Friday, I'm here with Atomic Titan, now officially
Hey,
confirmed.
yo.
I'm here Saturday, I believe, with Corey Graves. I believe I'm here with Summer Bash coverage at the same time. Sunday, I'm here with Napalm of North Dakota's legendary backyard wrestling. I could keep going. And yeah, a couple of people have said it, but like, do you people like want me to like not have a bathroom break? Do I get a bathroom break? Do I get a
All
break
you
to
gotta
go
do
out?
is you make a little. We'll be back after this break.
I'll tell you what, when I get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, stay tuned. I'll tell you what. I get
Yeah,
to
stay tuned.
1,000.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm almost 1,000.
Have your little music in the background.
I actually agree with CJ Black on this one, although he quoted my comment on Instagram today, which I think partially got out of context because I said that Jack Delta's championship run, some would say that Jacob Collins could have still been the champion if it wasn't for Jason Storm, stripping him of the title. But that's what I didn't personally say that, as a matter of fact. I actually didn't have a dog in the race, but I do agree with CJ Black. I don't think I want to do more than once a day, but the people want me to be here once a day. So maybe he should take over the show. He could host. He's doing the good guy gossip.
Well, I mean, technically, the paperwork names, you got T3 Tuesdays now. So, I mean, you feel me? You can always
Well,
just
you'll
send
be here
me.
more. You can take over the show.
Yeah, I take over. You can go make you a sandwich. You can go make a sandwich. You can go,
I don't know about that, but
whatever.
I'm gonna give the keys to you, and yeah, she's not gonna go out with me. I can promise you that much. I can guarantee you that. But
If she see this stream and you get like 1,000 subscribed, she might. You never know.
no, because she'll probably be like, "How dare you say that?" She'll probably say, "I could say do one of those. How dare you have said that on the air?" I'm telling you, she's a soccer coach. She's gonna be like, "What did he just say?" And I'm gonna say, "Yeah, I said it on the show." Anyway, W pick, winning pick. Lilo Rush is the only person that retires more than me. Well,
hey, yo,
they're retired and unretired though more than Lilo Rush.
I'm just saying, my man did retire like 3 times in 1 year.
True,
he definitely did.
Big Show would throw you into the third row.
That's my point, yo. Like, see, that's what I'm talking about. If a person like me and Big Show was in the ring, why not? If you saw what Behemoth did to me at DBW's Thunder Punch, why not? That sells, yo. That's what makes
it's a curiosity factor. I got you.
Yeah, like the crowd loves that.
Yeah, look, I mean, there's a curiosity factor. My crush moment of Khali versus Ray traumatized every kid back then. Yeah,
definitely did. That man had the dark blood. It's like
Great Khali. I hate to do this, but does Great Khali qualify as one of the worst all-time WWE champions? Does he qualify in that list?
No.
Does he qualify? Because he was probably one of the more forgettable champions.
I'm just going to be honest. The only reason why I didn't like the Great Khali's title reign was because he shouldn't have won the World Heavyweight title. I feel like he should have won the WWE title.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Just like how they kind of did Umaga when Umaga fought John Cena. And I was like,
yeah.
I feel like if Umaga would have fought for the World Heavyweight title, they would have put it on him.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's like the belt. It's like the belt. You see what I'm saying? It's like, okay, John Cena had the spinner belt. You're not going to put that on Umaga.
No.
But if it was Umaga versus Undertaker at that time, or maybe CM Punk or Jeff Hardy at that time for the World Heavyweight, I can see Umaga being World Heavyweight. You get what I'm saying? It was like,
yeah, that's a fair.
If they would have just switched them, if they would have just switched them that 1 year, you feel me? You never know.
Good point. When you go and take a break, put on Loose Cannon's rap video on loop. I don't know if I should show this to you. I mean, if people. All right, before we end the show, there's a guy that was a wrestler. His name is Loose. Well, he was a wrestler. He faked getting out of a match because he faked cancer to get out of a match. He said his mom was dying and to get out of a match.
Hey,
I could put this video on. I'm going to tell you what. If the audience wants me to play this video again, I'll play it. If not, then I won't play it. But
if we get
that's not happening. I'm not going out with her.
If we get 5 yeses in the comments, we can play the video. If not, then I will go watch it on my own accord and give you a review.
Tom's about to get a certificate himself, but it'll be called a restraining order. Yeah, she'll get the restraining order. Yeah, she'll give me the restraining order. Good point. Thank you, DG Colt. No, DG Colt, he's one of our friends on the show. He's very much a big supporter. He's here every show. No, DG Colt's good. All right, I got one yes so far. So, all right. So, if you want me to play this loose cannon rap video, let me know in the chat. There's still a bunch of us here. I'll play it. You can get your thoughts on it from the audience, and you're obviously a musician yourself. We'll play the video. If you want it, I'll play it. If I don't get enough yeses, we'll get you closing thoughts and move on for the evening.
If we don't get no yeses, that's perfectly fine.
I got one yes. I got 2 yes. I got 2 yeses. I need a couple more though. I got 2. Scarlett, you gave me 3, but I need a couple of more from other people. If you want to see this video, you want me to play the Loose Cannon rap single, the 508 from Worcester. He really does the woo, by the way. I know, Scarlett, you gave me 5, but I got 2 people. I need to see. Yeah, DVG said it doesn't count. Jack Delta says yes. I got 3. Does DVG want to see this rap video? I need 2 more. Give me 2 more yeses in the chat.
Y'all got 30 seconds. This timer says 2 hours and 4 minutes. I have until this thing says 2 hours and 5 minutes. 25 seconds. 24 seconds. I mean,
I'll give people a few seconds. I'm D'Angelo the Flames 4. I need 1 more yes. You give me 1 more yes, and I'll play this video. If not, it's obviously, it was a lot of fun, and we'll get to closing thoughts. And he's a busy man. We'll definitely bring him back. I can assure you. But I can go from there. 1 more. I got 5. DVG decided he wants to hear. All right. So you know what?
He waited till he saw that clock timer.
You're obviously, we've talked a lot tonight. And DG Colt gave us 6. He put us over the finish. I knew my friend DG Colt would definitely put us over the finish line. So that's why I knew he wasn't going to get me a certificate of a restraining order. She might give me one. But all right, let me put the video up. I'm going to have it here right now. Hold on tight. Here's this video. Okay, so we're going to get it here. Hang on. Okay, here we go.
Loose cannon coming at you. Let's get it. Let's go. 508. Yo, I grew up in Worcester all my life. Seen many good things and bad things happen in the city. The city's been through a lot. I've had a lot going on in my life. I've had a lot of people bullying me all my life. I had a girl by my side for all my life. Past 30 years, I'm glad she's my life in the 508. 508's my life in different sports venues. DCU Center too. Finally, the biggest thing came to Worcester to make this place 508 good, strong. Worcester Woo Sox. When I'm there, the crowd goes wild. They scream, they yell, they crowd. What is strike
that
out?
Is
Nobody strikes out in 508. 508 knows.
We do got a rule.
Woo Sox. Woo Sox. Woo Sox is the greatest team of all time. Polo Park has been an additional to the city. Business is booming. All the city of Worcester is booming because of Polo Park. Woo Sox came to town. They broke blocks. I've seen a lot.
Oh yeah, you gotta do it again.
Everything.
Woo Sox.
Anniversaries, proposals. Polo Park is the best. 508 for life. My 508, ride or die. I love the 508. Woo Sox. Woo Sox. Woo Sox. Woo Sox, the greatest of all time.
I don't know if I should be mad
Loose cannon.
because he's saying Woo Sox.
508.
or
Pole Park,
like
Worcester, 508.
you got grandma out there?
508. 508. Why to
Yeah. We're mixing in some.
How many
with this
views
too.
does he
Come on
have
now.
on YouTube?
400 almost. I probably am a lot of them.
Yeah. We're from the 508, home of the socks. I'm from the hood, I'm toting the block. Me and my crew, we pull up on the block. The 508 can be dangerous, the city can be treacherous. All my people really reckless. We chasing for the necklace, yeah. Youth bombs really teach us. We running
please.
from
It's almost
they
over. I
really
gotta play
chase
the
us.
last minute.
My people caught a body, they laying lifeless. We in the 508, heart of the mass.
At least he's on beat. He's on beat.
I'm the one that's swimming with sharks. Y'all are dogs, all y'all is loud box. We are the home of the Blue Sox and the Whales too. Can't forget the Pirates, they want a chip too. This is a 508, the hood don't play. Don't disrespect, we leave you where you lay. I'm trying to put the 508 on the map. Shout out Jonah, you're the god of the woo. People can't play for the fool. Leave a body shot with the
People
two.
play for the
Pull
food.
up on someone, make it go boom. 508, 508, 508. 508, 508, 508. 508, 508, 508. 508, 508, 508.
All you people that said yes in the chat,
get it.
I am very mad at you.
Loose cannon. That's how we do with the 508. We ride till you die, till we die. We out.
Yeah, peace out, yo.
Peace out, y'all.
508.
He's out.
Represent die. Don't ever listen to the haters, man. If you can dream it, you can be it. Remember that.
If you can dream it, you can
Don't
be
listen to
that.
anybody.
Remember
Do what you
that.
wanna do. Strive for excellence. We
Time
out.
for excellence. We out.
All I'm gonna say is this: we're gonna have to have a
372.
Sportswire radio versus in the future.
Well, it's funny you said that because people have actually wanted me to drop bars. I don't know if we're gonna go that route, but
Hey,
as
yo.
obviously somebody that raps, I mean, what did you think? What was it an all-time great song? Does it rank up there with the Notorious B.I.G.? Does it rank up with Dr. Dre or what? Tupac?
This is a review. Like, yo, I'm not going to disrespect it. Thank you guys for the 6 people that said check out the song.
To be fair, Kid Mike said he wanted to take his vote back if he had a chance.
Yo, what the was that? I'm not gonna lie to you. Dude in the red tried to be on beat, but he started saying some weird stuff.
Well, to the guy in the
first
red,
guy-
one of the comments was to the guy in the red hoodie, you should consider asking your physician if you're on the spectrum, my friend. Yo, no offense, my brother, but perhaps delve into a different hobby, such as hiking, biking, arts and crafts, perhaps working out. I don't know, man, but I'm afraid rap is not your forte. This caused my CTE to flare up, and now I have 42 minutes and 33 seconds left.
My
to
boy said his vows and proposed to his woman in the song. If you pay attention, if you listen to the beginning line before he got down on his knee, he read his vows and proposed to her in that song. And at the end, he said, "Who socks?"
Yeah,
I'm not doing that. I'm not getting on my knee. Kid Mike, you have a family. You have a wife at home. Did you get on your knees? Did you get on your knees and say, "Go O's"? Did we do that? Did I get down to my knee and say, "Go Nats"? My man said, "Woo Sox." Ain't the Woo Sox the goddamn AA team?
Yeah, it is.
He didn't even say Red Sox.
He works for the Red Sox now, apparently. So that's the iron thing. Well, he was a wrestler that he wrestled in the IMF, quote unquote, but he was supposed to wrestle Anthony Steele, but said he had cancer to get out of the match, but he didn't have cancer. And then he said,
"That's the guy." Okay, okay, never mind. Okay, okay. Okay.
That's why people by the way, a credit to Jake Dvorak, who actually lives in Worcester, who actually sent me the video. So he's the culprit. So blame it all on him. No, actually, he's told me to play the video. So, that's what he wanted me to play it.
Damn,
So
man.
I think tonight what I learned that we're all united now because we watched the Loose Cannon video. So it doesn't even matter anymore, like who's gonna wrestle
Yeah.
where, who's going what, because they saw the Loose Cannon video, and that's really what unified.
Everybody just know this.
The wrestling community has now been unified because
All wrestling matters.
no, not
Mr.
anymore.
Mr. T3, yeah, it still matters. All wrestling still matters. All wrestling still matters. We're just gonna tweak it a little bit, okay? All wrestling still matters. As long as, and I'm saying this, I don't care about Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, but on T3 Tuesdays, we will keep the peace. We will have good energy, good vibes from here on out. If anyone this is my closing thoughts now. I'm not even giving Tom the line.
And I will
give Tom the line to say it. I'm going to do it now. Okay. Tom already knows the vibes. Everything's elevated. We're moving for greatness. I expect like a full report from like everyone, not even just me. Everyone. Like the next time I come on here, I want everybody that was on this show to come back and be like, yo, what have you been doing, Taft? And we saw that. I want everybody to start tuning in. I want everybody to start like sharing everything. I don't care if you don't like somebody. I don't care if you don't like a company. Start sharing stuff because you never know who's watching you. You see what I'm saying? The same way I just came on here and I just told everybody on here, from D'Angelo to Jack, none of these guys know me from Adam and Eve. But guess what? They're going to know me after today, just like I've been watching these guys on Sportzwire and on their wrestling platforms. It's a lot of good people on this platform. Tom is doing a lot for us. Regardless if some people take it as bad, regardless some people take it as hate, some people take it as clout chasing, whatever. Guess what? Some people using this platform every day because they don't have nobody to talk to. Some people using this platform because nobody's giving them the opportunity to express themselves on a daily. So before we get on this platform and try to trash everybody from now on, let's start uplifting people first. And I'll be the first person. Let's start uplifting people.
I would say as a joke, I mean, I could maybe do the Loose Cannon thing to Paige Palazzolo. Maybe that would be good. It'd be funny if I was like.
You can do a parody. We can do a parody.
I could do Funny or Die.
Parodies are better than the actual songs. Like when people go and like Drake makes a song and then somebody takes the Drake song and make it their own shit. We can do that right now.
That goes back in hip hop for 30 plus years. I mean, that goes back,
I'm just saying, he made a song called Woo Socks. I can go make a song right now at Walmart called New Socks. It'll be better than his song. I'm walking through Walmart. I got me some new socks.
I tell you what, I think the wrestling community has been all unified in terms of watching the Loose Cannon video. It was nothing to do with DBW, Summer Bash, T3, anybody else. It was the Loose Cannon rap video. That's all you need. Just show Loose Cannon rap videos every time, and that'll just get everybody out there. I have so many comments. Yeah,
I got somebody for you. I'm going to send it to you on my private. You think the Loose Cannon is somebody? I got somebody for you.
Send it to me. We'll play it. I'll play it.
My man says he likes to smear ketchup in the bed.
I will tell you this much. I do have a video up my sleeve of somebody that's very well known in the backyard wrestling community. I can't tip my hat yet because I promised the person that gave me the video that I won't play it yet. But it's a big no. It's a really big name. They have a rap video. It's like they are really, really big name. But it's like apparently it's like on the level of Loose Cannon. I can't say who it is yet because I don't want to play it yet.
Okay, we're gonna wait.
I'll tell you off the air. I'll tell you who it is off the air.
Okay.
Let me get to comments before we sign off. Okay. So Kid Mike wanted this off. Jack Delta said, "What the F is this?"
Yes.
Angelo Flame aggressively shaked his head.
If you shake your head too hard, your dress gonna fall out.
K. Woo socks with the fire. I take my vote back. Yeah, Tupac is rolling in his grave. If he found out,
literally. And do you heard the line, D'Angelo? He said Tupac's name in the song, yo. I thought I was like, I had to listen again. I was like, yo, he said Tupac like.
Yeah, I learned something new every time I play it on the show. No effing way. Biggie Woo. This is my new entrance video. Well, you just changed your music though. You just changed your entrance video. Okay,
yeah, I'm about to say he just did at the last show that he just did.
Yeah. Real greatest of all time shit. This sounds like he was doing ad libs and just didn't stop. Like going to a bar and doing karaoke. MF in 508, worst feature I've ever seen. Get this man out the kitchen. This is what you call real bars in 508, 508, 508, 508, 508. Woo socks. Only he's again. I quote that. DG's got it all right. Welcome to Sportswire. If we have to suffer, so do you. I told you, everybody. The audience is stuck with me. They suffer with me, and that's
yo.
Xavier Thorne. We played his video yesterday. Maybe when you come back next month, we'll play that one. That one's it's cringeworthy, and I don't want to play it right now. Eminem's been real quiet since this dropped. Yeah, he's no Houdini from him coming out with this. This was the song that made Miles retire. Kid Mike's a Red Sox fan, but hell no. This is the official theme for Summer Bash. I suggested it. I suggested it, but the people now this is where the politics will really come into hand. The guys that run Summer Bash will not want that, but I think it should be. All Woo Sox matters. There you go. All Woo Sox matters.
Kendrick what is a Woo Sock? Look, what is a Woo Sock?
I don't know. I don't know the question. Oh, hello to Olivier Laurent, the legendary Olivier Laurent. Hello to everybody. Olivier Laurent, where have you been? He is one of the all-time basketball. If it's the same Olivier Laurent, he is the legendary basketball player for the formerly St. Joseph's Longo. If it's the same one I'm thinking of here, somebody can quote me on that. But how you doing there? And Joshua Allen, the owner of Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, who's here tomorrow night in your chair to be inducted into the Hall of Fame as the company as a whole, said not that again. Yeah, so
not that.
I warned you. Man. I warned you about it, Mister. I did warn you, Mr. T3, about it. I warned you.
It's all good. It's all good. Sometimes you feel me. Like the little TV shows where they be like, "Do you want the prize box or you want door number 1?" I chose door number 1 like an idiot.
Yeah, well, this one, honestly was the.
I let the chat pick for me. I should have just been like, "Let's go to bed, guys. Come on now."
This chat would have. Well, this chat's used to being here with Jack Delta. Before we go, he was here with us at 2:30 in the morning. We were still going. There are people that we had 20 people live at like 2:00 in the morning a couple of days ago. Even today with Aaron Blaze, we had at like 2:00 in the afternoon, like 16 or 17 people. Scorpion the Assassin was here. He was having fun with it. Everybody was like, people they just like coming here, and that's what it is. People are just having a good time, and that's the gist of it.
There's times where I'll get on and I'll just see you randomly on. I'm like, yo, it's like 7:30 at night. Okay.
I know. People are like, Joshua Allen's the first person that was like, you should do a 24-hour stream. Now it trickles every now and then. I think Omen said it. I think Steele has mentioned it.
You know what? That
Mike mentioned it. Jackson Snow mentioned it.
You shouldn't
Van Hansen mentioned it too. A lot of people
I wouldn't do a 24. This is what I would suggest. Okay. If you used to do something like that, maybe on like a New Year's Eve. Have like a new, bring in the New Year type thing.
I'll tell you what. I know I'm gonna get to 1,000. We'll do something special. We'll get as many people to come and say hi. We'll have it. I'll tell you what. When I get to 1,000, if you haven't yet subbed, hit the sub button for us. If you're Scarlet out there, I'm at Sportswire Radio 65.7. But when I get to 1,000 subs, probably in a few months, we'll have a show and we'll let people just have fun and people will come on here. I don't know if I'll do 12 hours, but we'll do a stream.
You ain't gotta do 12. You can do a solid 6 hours. You can do.
I'll tell you what. When I hit 1,000 subs, anybody's welcome. We'll invite. Doesn't even have to be about promo. I'll just send the link out to as many people. You want to say hi? We'll do that. And Atomic Titan wasn't the first one. He said it. I think we're pretty much done. I thank you so much for your time. I thank you so much for all that you've done for us. One more time before we sign off, if you want to follow Mr. T3, check him out on Instagram. He's got a lot of great stuff coming up here in the future. And
got a lot of stuff coming up this summer and after the summer, man, into the fall. I'm trying to be back. Let's say this is July. I'm trying to be back 3 months. About 3 months.
So we'll see you in 3 months. I mean, that'll be great. By that time, I should have 1,000 subscribers. So you come back in October. Great. I mean, by that point, I think it'll be good to talk with you, a lot to catch up on. And it was a lot of fun. And I think people had a good time. And, check him out on Instagram. I'll connect you to D'Angelo and a few others off the air. We'll talk about that.
Yeah, man. Anybody that wants to reach out and talk, I don't care what it is. Let's just talk, y'all.
That's Instagram.
Let's network.
I put the Instagram
right. Let's do whatever.
I got it. That's the Instagram. You want to talk with him. You want to invite him somewhere. And he'll talk with you. And congratulations on all the success. I'm looking forward to seeing you out there over the next few months. And keep up the good work. And thank you as always for all that you do. And we'll see you here then in 3 months. You've already booked your own appearance, so I'll see you in October. And looking forward to it, my friend. And can't wait. And the best is yet to come.
Thank you, Sportswire Radio, World Universe fans. Thank everybody that tuned in. All I'm gonna say is keep elevating everybody. You feel me? We don't never want to stay stagnant. Everybody need to go up. We try and go through that ceiling, y'all. We trying to knock down these doors, y'all. I'm being honest, and that's for everybody. Because at the end of the day, I'm being honest. My next time in the ring, I'm wrestling. But after that, I'm a zebra again. I'm just being honest. Like, you feel me? Like, and it's a snowball effect. Like, y'all might, anybody that's watching this live right now, D'Angelo, because I've been watching your grind, right? Anybody watching this live, Delta, anybody, before I get off. If you ever feel like you're losing the fun or the love or the passion for this, and I'm not saying just the wrestling in the ring part. Go find something else in the wrestling field that you can put that energy into. Because for a minute, I wanted to quit wrestling. But you know what? My homeboy was like, bro, don't quit wrestling. Just go do something else. Don't you referee? And I was like, you know what? You're right. Let me go referee. And just being a ref for 2 shows brought that energy back in me to go train some more, start working out some more, start doing a whole different regimen and diet. Like, honestly, Tom, I didn't get, Richie will tell you, if you go ask Richie, I didn't gain like 10, 15 pounds since the last time people have really seen me. I didn't got big as shit. Like, for real. Yeah. I didn't cut up. I didn't lift the weights because it's like different things to do now. I'm starting to be more, not just more happy, but it's the energy I'm starting to
get. You got that energy, you got that higher power, and you've elevated, and I'm happy about what you're doing. And, thank you so much. And I can't wait to see you out there soon. And, you always see, I'm here on YouTube every day, but it's good to see you back. And, obviously shout outs to the Stompers and the Prodigies. I hope to see them here on the show soon, but congratulations on the success. And one more time, it's T3 Day on all Sportswire Radio platforms. This is Mr. T3. You're going to see him coming up here on July 27th. You're going to see him in the ring. You're going to see him doing some referee work afterwards. And you never know where you may see him. And that's his story. He's sticking to it. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all wrestling matters. If you're here with us right now, I'll be back tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, to induct Tennessee Backyard Wrestling into the Hall of Fame. And if you're on YouTube, hit the sub button for us at Sportswire Radio 6579. Also, we're on now TikTok at Sportswire Radio, Twitch at Sportswire Radio. So if you haven't yet, go out there and follow us. Also, the Promo Wrestling Federation YouTube page, hit the sub button for us. We're over there as well. So thank you, everybody, so much for your time. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio station that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. Elevate, everybody. We'll see everybody.